free, there's only one that leads the way. Wolf Chevrolet. The Lawnmower Hospital.
Contractors, spring cleanup is coming. It's time to get your lawnmowers, aerators, power rakes, lawn vacs, and more serviced at the Lawnmower Hospital. Hey, the longer you wait, the longer you'll have to wait in line later. Their service department gets crazy busy as the season rolls on, so get in now while it's calm. For quick service on top brands like Bluebird, Ryan Turf, Husqvarna, and more, check out lawnmowerhosp.com.
The Lawnmower Hospital.
It's okay to not be okay. Mental health affects us all. Encourage loved ones to seek help. Remember, asking for help isn't a weakness, it's a strength. It's time to talk, connect, and care, because everyone deserves a healthy mind. Visit cmha.ca today.
Sports 1440, Stingray radio station. CKJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
Have your sports curiosity cured.
2:55 to go. First half action. Quickly to Mamukelashvili. Back to Quick. Quick in the lanes.
A veteran of the sports reporting game for over 25 years.
Get it down. Just missed the tag. Hit the dirt.
Here comes Soler. Going after Lopez. They square up. And Soler and Lopez are doing haymakers. They're going after each other. Soler is finally tackled from behind as the Angels and Braves are all out onto the field.
Breaking down Edmonton's favorite teams.
For Evan Bouchard.
Driest spell of the season. Driest spell in a long time for Edmonton.
McDavid through Sergachev. Shoots a net.
Scores. David. The change of pace. The finish. Sensational. 2-1 Edmonton.
This is Sports 1440 and the Kevin Karius Show.
All right, here we go for Saul 642, Thursday, April the 9th. Wild good morning to you on a Thursday here in the City of Champions. And man, oh man, it's the Masters weekend. And last night in San Jose, it was the story of two Connors. Good morning. Welcome to the Kevin Karius Show on Sports 1440 AM radio, on your AM radio dial, on your morning drive into work or wherever you're heading out on a Thursday. So glad you could spend some time with us here. And, you can also watch us on YouTube at Sports 1440 AM. Drop us a like, a subscription. We would appreciate that. Hey, we're also on X, Facebook, Instagram, and even Twitch. And as always, we are streaming on iHeartRadio, the TuneIn app, even on sports1440.ca. And if you miss any part of any show, it turns into the many podcasts that are out there. Just find them wherever they hang out, on Apple, Spotify, Google, even Amazon. Just subscribe. It's free. Select the auto download. You'll never miss a second of any show. So glad you're with us to kick off Masters weekend. And on a morning where the Oilers came up with a big, massive win, 5-2 in San Jose. And Connor McDavid, well, he was out of this world. This guy was phenomenal last night with 3 goals and 2 assists. Oiler fans concerned about the other Connor, as in Ingram, the starting goaltender, leaving after 40 minutes. Tristan Jarry came in to mop things up, didn't face a whole hell of a lot in the final 20 minutes, and hopefully he is okay. And a couple of days off, he'll be ready to go in L.A. on Saturday afternoon. No update after the game regarding Ingram. Said Chris Knobloch was saying something to the effect that right around the last timeout in the second period, came to the bench and said, da-da-da-da-da. And then when they went to the dressing room, they had a little discussion and said, well, maybe it's best, with the 5-2 lead, not to press anything. You saw him come out, even if you stayed up late to watch the third period. He came out during a TV timeout because the goaltender in San Jose sits way off from where the bench is, did some stretching, did a little kind of, when they go down on the ice and do the little pad and movement and things like that. So we'll see what happens here. The Oilers are having a day off today, so we won't likely find out anything regarding Connor Ingram or Jason Dickinson, for that matter, who took that shot from Evan Bouchard and left the game in the third period. But full marks last night. I mean, this was a complete performance by the Oilers in the sense that, there were a couple of things after Connor McDavid's performance that you still talked about as far as shutting things down, locking things down in the third period, because that's what they did at that point. But, I mean, when you think about what Connor McDavid did last night, I mean, and for a guy that has around the puck as much as him, because there's no one that has the puck on his stick as much as Connor McDavid. There's no one that can carry the puck into the zone like Connor McDavid and is around the net, making plays, et cetera, et cetera. I don't think he gets enough puck luck, to be honest with you. And he had that last night on, 3 of his points, really, on 2 of his goals and 1 of his assists for a 5-point night. Again, he should have way more of it, you would think. Way more of it, but he doesn't get it. 15th career hat trick, 14th 5-point game. He picked up his 100th career power play goal. With the 1,215 points, he's passing Bobby Clark now for 1,210 points. A tie into the top 50. He was at 44 goals. Now he's at 47. He's got a chance for 50 on the season. But, I mean, the wherewithal and the 2 goals that he scored humming around the horn at full speed in Utah and then in San Jose, he put the team on his back last night. I found it really funny, and I you have to give credit to a broadcaster when you're watching him, and I'm talking about Colby Armstrong in the first period. So, he's talking about Macklin Celebrini is the Art Trophy winner. And then it was great. I thought the way they came back with him after and they had the video, the close-up of Colby Armstrong in the intermission saying, oops. I thought that was quite funny. And Colby, if you know him, he is a very funny dude. And just the way that he kind of backtracked on it and making light of it, making fun of it, and saying, I'm wrong. Sorry, Oiler fans, after watching this performance tonight. And you can talk about if this was a head-to-head. And Connor was asked this after the game last night. Did you look at this game and saying, hey, hang on here, Macklin, hang on. You're 19, but this is kind of my league, my time. I'm paraphrasing the question. I believe it was from Eric Stevens, but I'm not 100% sure. And Connor's like, he laughed it off. He was sort of going, come on now. But he knows that, like, in a game like this is his prime time. And I mean, especially what happened in Utah the night earlier. This was a situation where the Oilers needed a lift, and he gave it to them. But on a back-to-back, it was about getting back to the little things, doing the small things that made the team successful over certain stretches and certain periods of time over the course of this season. We saw it, for a stretch before the Olympic break, and then it got away from them going in, and then it came back to them, and they had a good run of good defensive hockey. And it's about the proper decisions. It's about the commitment. It's about the puck management and being connected in all zones. And they were that for the most part last night. And when you score 3 power play goals, that's the key thing in the game last night. That was so critical. 4th time this year that they've scored 3 power play goals in the league. Here's a great stat. The Oilers have the 2nd most power play goals in the league, but they have the 10th fewest power play opportunities. So that tells you that they draw penalties, I think, but maybe a lot of them, they don't get called. And sometimes they could draw more. Text 833-401-1440. Evan Bouchard hit the 90-point mark, went up to 91. Just the 13th defenseman in league history to do that. He's just now the 2nd defenseman in Oilers history. Obviously, Paul Coffey did it a handful of times. So, good mark for Evan Bouchard. And let's be honest, Bouchard didn't have a great game in Utah. He rebounded nicely last night. So all in all, full marks. The Oilers pick up their 40th win. They've got 90 points on the season. Vegas with 88. Anaheim with 87. So They go into a day off today, get a little rest, relaxation, maybe get a round of golf in or something, do some team activity today in California, and get ready for a massive game Saturday afternoon against the LA Kings. We'll hear some Oilers post-game comments coming up at 7:20 from the likes of Connor McDavid and Chris Knobloch coming up at 7:20, because we had to shuffle the deck to get in big Tyler Ennis, the local product, who's back in town for an event that is absolutely amazing. He was part of a time capsule. So I don't want to give away too much, but coming up at 7:40, Tyler Ennis, who started, I mean, he cut his teeth in Edmonton in the KSC program with the Squires and the Pats in midget. But this was done at his elementary school, Good Shepherd, where they put together a time capsule, and we'd be looking at least probably 25 years ago, something like that. And there's a lot of interesting things that Tyler put into the time capsule that are being released. So it's really, really cool. Text 833-401-1440. This is good from the King of Fort Nasty. Good morning, gang. McDavid played like hot trash last night, and all you homers can do is defend him. Oh, I watched the clips, LOL. Cheers, King of Fort Nasty. BC Oiler, every once in a while, Connor reminds us why he's the best hockey player on the planet. Incredible to watch last night. For sure. Text 833-401-1440. Let's welcome in the Duke of Delburne. We'll talk a little hockey before we get to round one of the Masters, which is underway. Good morning, Duke. That's a late game. I'll be honest, because I don't know if you flipped around and switched the channels, and I know you got all these streaming packages, but the tail end of the Leafs game overrode the start of the Oilers game on Sportsnet West.
Right.
And I know a lot of people were waiting. You know, they put it on. That's a habit. They put it on Sportsnet West, but it already started on Sportsnet 1, something like that.
Yeah. 360
anyway,
or whatever the case. And it was a national broadcast game in the States too.
Yeah.
But no, I'm a streamer, so I just find Oilers and Sharks, and more often than not, I can just start watching it immediately, essentially. So
there you go.
That was good. Yeah, it was a late start, but I actually thought the game went by pretty quickly. It was a fast-paced game. And when you look at the time it finally wrapped up, it was, you know, only around 2.5 hours or so in total time elapsed. So and I'm sure you, Kevin, as early risers for this gig, were a little extra grateful for that. But yeah, I think a really impressive effort by Edmonton. And as much as we were, you know, dogging the team yesterday about what happened in Utah and this lack of attention to details and spillover from the Vegas loss, they kind of really turned that narrative right on its head in one fell swoop. And especially, I thought, come period number 3, when all of a sudden Tristan Jarry is forced into the cage. I mean, the Sharks were credited with 4 shots on goal in the third period. Were any of them of a real dangerous variety? Yeah.
I don't remember any of them, to be honest.
That's what I mean, right? Nothing stands out to you. And so that is a testament to the team's effort, and also maybe a little bit of a further indictment on Tristan Jarry, that the team all of a sudden says, hey, I know we got a 5-2 lead, and that is enough breathing room that the staff feels comfortable having Connor Ingram sit this out and not further push what could be a tweak or a twinge of something. But they really locked it down, and the shot blocking came back to the forefront, much like it had in previous starts when Tristan Jarry was in the net. So good all-around effort. The McDavid stuff, we've said it before. We said it yesterday talking about his goal against Utah, that you run out of superlatives to describe him.
Do you come to the, like when I said, with the guy that has the puck on the stick that much, do you really, like, do you agree with me saying he should have more puck luck than what he does?
I don't. How do you qualify that? Because even on plays where he does dance in, and I get it, he is the best, and the puck control is unprecedented. There's no one that's able to control the puck at the speed he's moving in the history of the sport. But you have to think that there is still, at more often than not, a little bit of luck involved to keep the puck on the way he says, or the way he's able to. Excuse me.
Do you know what I mean, Duke? Like, okay, when's the last time you saw him? So on the hat trick goal, he's trying to center the puck to Roslovic. Yeah, and it goes off Orlov. I don't remember the last time that's happened for Connor.
Well, the reason I think maybe being is that a lot of times in that, he's normally putting that little touch of sauce on it and never even touches the stick, and it's on Roslovic's stick and he bangs it home, or the goalie makes a big. So I don't know. I think it's the puck luck to me is something that's a little voodoo, and let's rewind to our heated discussion at the Olympics about Connor Hellebuck's stick save inside the crease. Like, what's luck and what's skill, right? And so I think in all sport there is a degree of luck involved in essentially every single play, regardless of the result or outcome. Goaltender, skater, doesn't matter.
So,
but last night the Oilers as a team, I thought, got the bounces
for sure. Like even on Connor's first goal, the power play goal to start.
Absolutely.
That's big Vinny Desharnais right there, and he just pokes at it and goes off Nedeljkovic's skate. And in. So because there's no possible way he could score that from where he was without it going off the skate. So that's what I'm saying. The guy that has the puck on his stick the most in the league at the highest of speed and creates more offense and is leading the league in scoring, I think we should see more goals that go, oh, there's a little bit more luck involved than high level skill that he shows on a nightly basis. I think he should get more breaks, is what I'm saying. A little bit more than what he does. So anyway, it was a full marks to the Oilers win in the BCHL last night. The Brooks beat Spruce Grove to sweep that series 4. Love Sherwood Park over Black Falls 5-2 to lead that series 3-1. The Jays with a massive victory, coming back to beat the LA Dodgers with Shohei Ohtani on the hill 4-3. A day off for the Jays before they open their series with the Minnesota Twins. At the Masters, underway at Augusta, Georgia, Jose Maria Olazabal is leading after 4 holes. He's 2 under par. Not a whole hell of a lot of golfers are out of the chutes here, but Cabrera's at 1 under par. Max Homa's parred every hole, playing 6. I think he was with the first group out, Max Homa. So we'll keep you up to date all day long here on Sports 1440 AM radio. And keep in mind, tomorrow's our first show within the Kevin Carey Show. Golfing with the G-Man. Gary Meyer will be in studio for the rest of the summer, if we ever get golfing around here, for the Country Club Tour, the CCT, and Gary Meyer will be in studio from 10 to 11 beginning tomorrow. So excited about that. We won't have a guest tomorrow because it's Masters, and we want to be talking about the Masters for the most part, and see how Gary's winter went for sure, because he's such a busy guy. He's such an incredibly busy guy that we want to catch up with him as well. But we'll talk Oilers in the next segment. Again, we got Tyler Ennis, and it's a time capsule that's being released today at Good Shepherd Elementary School. And Tyler's come in from overseas. He probably brought his family. He's got business and wants to see family because, he's Edmonton born and bred here. So Tyler will be with us at 7:40. He's got to get over to the school for the unveiling of this time capsule. And then, he's bringing a jersey. He's got this, he's got that. Maybe they'll do another time capsule. Who knows? Mark Spector will be with us at 8 bells. For Rogers Sportsnet, Frank Saravalli from Frankly Hockey and Victory Plus TV at 8:20. We'll talk a little hoops at 9 bells with Toronto Raptors play-by-play man. Great guest, great guy. Such a good play-by-play guy. And and we've talked to Matt over the course of the last several years too, when he fills in to do Blue Jays baseball in the summertime. And, he enjoys that to do that as well. And he's a hell of a play-by-play guy in baseball as well. And because it's the Masters, it's a special in or out segment. And it'll be a special in or out segment with Cam and Eggs as well. That means you're going to have to turn your volume up for Cam and Eggs, Cam Tate, because it's a special Masters edition coming up around 10 bells. Stephen Ellis from the Daily Faceoff will check in at 10:20. So we have a jam-packed show on Masters weekend. Oilers with a massive victory last night in San Jose to stay in first place in the Pacific Division and crack the 90-point plateau. They've got 3 games left beginning Saturday in LA against the Kings, and then 2 home games next week with Colorado coming into town and the Vancouver Canucks to close out the regular season schedule. When we come back, we'll hear from Oilers captain Connor McDavid, and we'll likely hear from head coach Chris Knobloch. Post-game comments out of San Jose last night. It's the Kevin Carey Show. with the Duke of Delburne and Josh Fenwick on Sports 1440 AM radio. We're streaming on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch.
Expand your brand with Fusion Promo Marketing. Fusion is your trusted partner for all things branded merch and apparel. Thousands of products perfect for businesses, sports teams, and corporate events. Fusion with a Z. Promomarketing.ca.
At Hughes, it's all about getting in and out quick and clean. No cash, no problem. With Hughes' new tap and wash system, all you need is your debit or credit card to get your vehicle sparkling clean.
Find us at HughesCarWash.com.
I've got some good news if you've been thinking about a heavy-duty truck. The 2026 Ram 2500 Black Express is now at St. Albert Dodge. You've got 20-inch black aluminum wheels, black Mopar side steps, body color, bumpers and grille, and a sport performance hood. Available in all the colors for $68,990. Plus, new this year, Ram's best-in-class 10-year powertrain warranty. Now's the time. Head up the trail and see how easy it is to do business at St. Albert Dodge.
Today on Hey Culligan, how smart is your water? Here's Tracy.
Hey, Culligan. I think my water might be dumb.
Good news, Tracy. Your water's not dumb. It's just not talking to you.
You can make my water talk.
No, but the new Culligan Smart Drinking Water System can talk to your phone to tell you when your water filters need changing and help you meet drinking water goals.
Now that's some brilliant H2O.
You said it, Tracy, and we're already on the way. Let us help you out with a free in-home water test from a local Culligan water expert at Culligan.ca.
Everything is going to be okay. If you're feeling the weight of too much debt, you have options. I'm Dan McDicken, a licensed insolvency trustee with Faber. Becoming debt-free is possible, and a personal bankruptcy or a consumer proposal will get you there. Schedule your free Faber Focus session at faber.ca today. You'll learn how a consumer proposal will eliminate your debt by paying a percentage of the amount owed without interest. At Faber, we've got your back.
The longest running basketball show in Canada airs every Saturday morning at 10 on Sports 1440. Hoop City with Paul Sir introduces a new generation of basketball talk, and it's right here on Edmonton's home for sports, Sports 1440.
We're Johnson, whoa.
That, my friends, is more than a jingle. It's the sound of local, the sound of a family company that isn't owned by some big corporation. Hi, it's Dennis from Weiss Johnson, and I'm proud of our commitment to remain local, providing personalized sales and service whenever you need us. Some people say, go big or go home. Not us. We'd rather keep on doing what we're doing, focused on what matters most. You, our valued customers. See what our family can do for your family at weiss-johnson.com.
Heard of Uline? You know, the have-it-all in-stock, ready-to-deliver shipping and industrial supply specialists. The company that does things for you that are unheard of, like keeping 41,000 items in stock in our own warehouses. With customer service reps on the line to get you what you need, when you need it, 24/7, 365, every time. Maybe you heard it here first. Want to hear more? Visit uline.ca. ULINE, your shipping and industrial supply specialists.
I'm Rick Showers from No Bull RV, and I am a used RV salesman. But just because I love being a used RV salesman doesn't mean you would like doing my job all day long.
If you're selling your RV privately, that means that you have to be an RV salesman too.
That's right, Bob, and there's a lot of work involved. You have to find the customers, be ready to show it at a time and place that's convenient for the other guy, all the stuff you take for granted when you come to No Bull.
There's not a lot of glamour in being a used RV salesman, Rick.
I don't do it for the glamour, Bob. I love helping people enjoy the great outdoors on their terms. It's my life's work, but it doesn't have to be yours. When you sell your quality used RV with us, we take care of everything. Cleaning, repairs, commercials like this one to bring people in, and besides, I like being a used RV salesman a lot more than you do.
And that's No Bull.
NobleRV.ca.
Have your sports curiosity cured with the Kevin Karius Show. This is Sports 1440.
All right, welcome back to the big program. 724 in Edmonton. Kevin Karius, Duke of Delburne with you, along with Josh Fenwick on Sports 1440 AM radio. We're streaming on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch. Text coming in at 833-401-1440. Yeah, you know, the Oilers last night in San Jose really locked her down in the third period, but also surprising that the Sharks were playing like they were up 5-2 in the third period, which was puzzling to say the least. But the Oilers were very physical in the third period. Well, really for the better part of the game, led by Trent Frederick and Colton Dock had 7 hits apiece. The Oilers, I believe, were credited for 12 block shots, but I think it seemed to me there were a little bit more than that. But full marks in the third period, and we're going to hear from Connor McDavid and Chris Knobloch momentarily. Just to update you on the Masters, and again, very early, Jose Maria Olazabal leads the way at 2 under par, playing the 5th hole. Not sure if anyone caught the ceremonial tee shots today, but it's always a great way to kick off the Masters. Tom Watson, Gary Player, Jack Nicklaus hit their first drives down 1. And I'll tell you what, Gary Player is, absolutely an amazing specimen at his age. This guy looks like he's 50 years old and he can still pump the ball. Okay, here's a question for you guys, and Duke or Fanny, whatever. I know Fanny's busy over there. You don't have to worry about it. But for you, Duke, how many times do you think Gary Player approximately has shot his age?
Shot his age or better?
Well, I think what happens when you turn, and you're a good golfer, and you turn, let's call it 70 years old, and you're a damn good golfer.
Right.
And you go out and you shoot your age. That is a big deal. It's a big deal. And I'm not talking for pros. Like if you're a club guy and you're a scratch golfer, say you're a scratch golfer at whatever club in town, and you go out and shoot your age, that is a big deal. And once you get to 75 and, 80, obviously you got a few more strokes to play with.
Of course.
But now you're not as good. So Gary Player is what, 90? So he's 90. I think he's 90.
I'll take your word for it.
Okay. How many times do you think and we're talking now, he's just playing casual golf, right?
Yeah.
He's not in tournament golf. So he's 90 years old.
I don't know. Like, is this like documented times or like how many
I
times
don't think he's
how many
gonna
times
lie.
he's told? And
Well,
like I said, I don't think he's lying, but I'm just saying people ask him each year, how many times this past year did you shoot your age, Gary? Like, I would assume it's in the hundreds. He's still probably playing like
I think
60 times a year.
I bet you he's playing 50 times a year. Yeah.
Probably more.
Yeah. He figures, and again, it's an approximation because in his words, I don't think he's kept track, but it's around 3,400.
Yeah. Okay. That tracks. That
It
makes
does.
sense.
I just, to me, that's
How many times have you shot your age, Kev?
Well, the thing is that I can't wait to do it. The problem is I'm going to have to live to 120.
Yeah.
And still be able to swing.
Right.
So
it's a tough tipping scale act.
Like for me, and I bet if you ask Jack Nicklaus how many times he shot his age, I don't think it would be close.
How old's Jack?
86 or something like that.
It's probably not 3,400, but I'm sure it's not a small number either.
Yeah, he's 86. It's the 40-year anniversary of when he won the Masters in 86, which was, and I think there's a documentary coming out on Saturday before. It's going to run before, I think it's on CBS before they start coverage, which will be quite amazing to watch. So yesterday, Oilers win 5-2 in San Jose. It was the Connor McDavid night with 3 goals, 2 assists. He cracks the 130-point plateau mark for the 3rd time in his career. It's, incredibly amazing. Hits his 42nd multi-point game of the season. He has 16 3-plus point games this year, 152 in his career. It's his 3rd 5-plus point game of the season, 14th of his career. That tied Paul Coffey, Gilbert Perreault for the 10th most in NHL history. 3rd hat trick of the season, 15th of his career. The numbers are astonishing. We're so lucky to watch him on a nightly basis. He's the best player in the world. he might be, everyone talks about how Gretzky and how these guys, Mario and Sid Crosby and whoever else is on your Mount Rushmore, but no one does things like Connor McDavid, and no one has ever done things like Connor McDavid. There will be someone that does something, and maybe it's a guy like Macklin Celebrini down the road. Who knows? But last night, he was on another level and led this team to victory 5-2. Here were his post-game comments.
Connor, especially given yesterday's result, just how big was it for your group to pick up the victory here tonight?
Really, really big. Really, really big. 2 points there. Obviously, this is a team that is still in the hunt. We haven't secured our spot yet. So, two big ones, obviously.
What was the biggest difference in your guys' team game tonight as opposed to yesterday?
Oh, the power play obviously helps. Finding a way to get 3 on the power play, you should win a lot of nights. Obviously, yesterday giving up the shorty hurts a lot. So power play stepped up and was good, and thought everyone defended well. We checked hard. They got some special players over there, one in particular. So I thought we did a good job defending.
Apologies, because I know you don't like talking about your own game, but a 5-point night, 133 points, second most in a season for you. I mean, just putting together a night like that when the team really needed it. What did that performance mean to yourself?
Yeah, it was, as I said, it was a big 2 points. I thought everybody played really well. Personally, I got a couple of bounces there early, which always helps. So, fun game.
So, Connor, was it a situation where you're saying to your Olympic teammate, "You're doing really well, but I'm still the man in this league right now"?
There's a lot of great players in this league. As I said in my interview there earlier, he's right up there with the very, very top. So, always a fun matchup. I prefer him playing on my left side at the Olympics than going against him. But we had to do a job. He's a great player.
60 goals, something that means something to you, or a chance to get that, or just
we got to punch our ticket. We got 3 games left. We still got to punch our ticket to the playoffs, and those individual things are nice, but not at the top of mind for sure.
It looked like in the first couple of shifts that your motor was going right away. Do you kind of feel like you're going to have one of those nights right away, or?
I've grown to kind of like back-to-backs a lot this year. Yeah. There's just something about them that I've been feeling really, really good in them. I feel on right away, and tonight that was certainly the case.
Between that, right where you guys are right now, to the capability that you guys can play at, what are some of the things that you guys are hoping to hone in on the 3 games remaining?
Well, as I said, we still got to punch our ticket. So that's first and foremost. But we want to make sure that our game's in order, checking's in order, defending, all the little details. A couple too many men penalties tonight that can't really have happen in the playoffs. So we've got to sort that out, and just want to make sure that our game is in a good place.
One more question for me. Evan Bouchard becomes the second defenseman in franchise history with 90 points. I mean, that milestone is incredible. Yeah. Did you ever think his ceiling would be this high, or is it even higher moving forward?
Bouch is one of the very best in the world at what he does, and when he's on, there's very few that are better than him. I think you could see it right away that he just understood the game. He understood offense. He was so patient with the puck, even at 18 years old, playing in this league. So, 90 points is a big number for a D-man, and joins a pretty special Edmonton Oiler too, and Koff. So, funny for those two to kind of share that number, but that big accomplishment for him.
Did you hear Koff at all say anything? I know he's good for the odd comment.
I didn't hear it. I'm sure we'll hear about it after, but no, I haven't heard it. So
great.
Okay. All right, so Connor, 2 straight trips to the Stanley Cup Finals. What was the motivation and the move this year coming into the season? What you can do year 3?
Yeah, it's been kind of up and down year for us, honestly. We still feel like our best hockey is ahead of us. We're kind of finding it right now, which is a good time to do it. But as I said, we still feel like our best hockey is in front of us, and we're going to peak at the right time here in a couple of weeks.
That's Connor McDavid following the Oilers' 5-2 victory last night. And I mean, he was he was flying in the sense that when you see him in full flight and grabbing the puck, like you saw against Utah on the power play, and he's coming down the right wing on his off wing and he cuts in. Similar goal last night, when he just shovels it around on the 4th goal, and you see him basically go past Leddy and then Sam Dickinson and even Nedeljkovic for that matter. All 3 of them are trying to, wave a stick at the puck and try to clip the puck or just get in his way a tiny bit, but it's not enough. The goaltender's got the stick out for a poke check. Dickinson's coming in late because he's on the other side. Leddy's knows that I don't have the foot speed. No one does, but I don't have it. I'm out of position. I'm a step away from where I need to be on an angle, and then for him to bust through at the top of the crease and shovel it home. A similar goal, you could say, as well, how he potted one against Utah the night before. But full marks to McDavid, the power play, and again locking it down. And in the third period, you have to think about this line if it happens, and we'll see what happens with Dickinson here, because the way he hobbled off, that did not look good. But that line with Colton Dach and Trent Frederick on it, and Dickinson, those guys are banging. I mean, we touched on it. Dach had 7 hits. Frederick had 7 hits. Those two guys together on a line, I mean, maybe it depends on who the centerman is, and they have a little bit more of a comfort zone with Dickinson, because he's going to be responsible defensively. Those guys that can afford Dach and Frederick to run around a little bit more, which is what teams don't like to see, for sure. When we come back, we're going to switch gears a tiny little bit here, and we're going to bring back to the program, we've had him on before, Tyler Ennis, Edmonton product, a wonderful, wonderful NHL career. When Tyler, anytime a guy plays 700 games, and this is an undersized player, Tyler was, a smaller guy in a big league, but he had a great career playing 700 games, had 346 points. He was a 20-goal guy twice with the Buffalo Sabres, 3 times with the Buffalo Sabres, played overseas in the Swiss League and in Germany to cap off his career. Ended up having basically a lifelong dream to play for his hometown Edmonton Oilers. And we're going to confirm that lifelong dream when we talk about what he put in a time capsule at Good Shepherd Elementary School in Edmonton about 25 years ago or so. When we come back, Tyler Ennis's return to Edmonton, and to talk about his time capsule at Good Shepherd Elementary on the Kevin Carey Show with the Duke of Delburne, Josh Fenwick on Sports 1440 AM Radio. We're streaming on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch.
It's Truck Month at Wolf GMC Buick, and we know trucks. And we have the best deals of the year right now. Some have 0% for 4 years. We have 0% for 6 years. That's on our #1 selling GMC Sierra half-ton crew cab, or the Elevation, the AT4, or Denali. Yep, 0% for 72 months. And Costco members get an extra discount on some of our SUVs. Pop in today and drive away smiling. Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy.
Nothing beats getting a deal at McDonald's. Why? Because you get a deal now.
And a deal later.
Redeem an offer from the latest mailer or on the McDonald's app and dig into instant savings. Plus, you earn points towards
free McDonald's.
Now that's what I call
a double whammy of deals.
Why does that keep happening? Deals sent right to your door. Check your mailbox for the latest McDonald's mailer loaded with delicious value. For a limited time at participating restaurants in Western Canada.
Hey, sports fans, we've got a clear choice for you. At Crystal Glass, we provide customers with the perfect glass for any job. From home to auto and even commercial, installation or repairs, we're your team. Call 310-GLASS or visit crystalglass.ca. Crystal Glass.
Wondering what you can afford? Let Go Auto do the math with our free car loan calculator. No pressure, no awkward convos, just quick answers on your budget and payments. Bad credit, no credit? We got you. Text CHECK to 780-777-7777. That's CHECK to 780-all-7. Find out what you qualify for and start shopping with confidence. Go Auto. Drive what you love with payments that make sense.
The longest running basketball show in Canada airs every Saturday morning at 10 on Sports 1440. Hoop City with Paul Sir introduces a new generation of basketball talk, and it's right here on Edmonton's home for sports, Sports 1440.
Fast track your financial goals with a special rate term deposit from Vision Credit Union. For a limited time, take advantage of a great rate on 1, 3, or 5-year terms. Plus, as a Vision Credit Union member, you can earn up to 25% more on your interest through profit shares. For details, contact your branch today or visit visioncu.ca. That's visioncu.ca.
River Cree is the place for all your favorite sports. River Cree Resort and Casino, featuring UFC action and boxing live on the big screens at Tap 25, the MVP of sports bars, and in the Center Bar. Plus, catch all the biggest games, every goal, every slam dunk. River Cree is also home to the Twin Rinks, where rec hockey and community teams come to play. Public skating available. Details at rivercreeresort.com.
River Cree Resort and Casino. Excitement. Bet on it.
Sports 1440. All sports, all day.
On YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Thanks for listening to Edmonton's sports leader.
All right, welcome back to the big program. 7:40 in Edmonton. Kevin Karius, Duke of Delburne, Josh Fenwick with you here on a Thursday morning, and so glad you could spend some time with us here on Sports 1440 AM. This morning, there's a special event at Good Shepherd Elementary School, and here to talk about it is a former guest, good friend of our Wednesday co-host, David Schlemko, as we welcome in Tyler Ennis back to Sports 1440. Good morning, Tyler. You're with Kevin Karius once again. As always, thanks for jumping on the big program this morning. Really appreciate it.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Hey, so I asked Schlemmer, I said, where's Tyler coming in from, where is he hanging his hat? And Schlemmer said last night, man, I got no idea. This guy's got villas in Switzerland and France. I don't know where he is or what he's doing. So, and you were texted me yesterday. You were with the time change. You weren't sure exactly what time it was. So where'd you come in from, Tyler?
Yeah, I was coming in from Switzerland. Yeah. My wife's family's from Switzerland. So, long trip, but nice to be back in Edmonton.
Yeah. So, I mean, this is where you're born and bred, and you got so many friends and family. And one of the reasons you're here, I mean, it's not the only reason, but I'm sure you tied it all together in a neat little package, is an event that's going to be happening this morning for you at Good Shepherd School, where you went to elementary school. Can you tell our listeners all about it, what you think is going to happen this morning?
Yeah. So, 25 years ago when I was 10 years old and I was in grade 5, our school did a time capsule. So they asked everyone in our class, and I'm not sure if it was everyone in the school, but they asked everyone what they wanted to be when they grow up and how they think the world's going to look in 25 years. And I got an email asking if I would come back and do a little talk in front of the kids because in my video, I said I wanted to play in the NHL and I wanted to play for the Oilers. And obviously that came true. And so they just want me to come back and kind of just tell my story. So I'm excited. I haven't been back to my old elementary school since my last day there. So it'll be nice to walk through the halls and kind of go down memory lane a little bit.
Wow, it's such a cool story. Do you remember, writing down some stuff and putting a video together? Do you remember that when you were so young?
I remember that we did it, but I don't really remember any of the details. So I was pretty excited to see the video that I had made because I didn't remember making it, but when I saw it, it brought back some memories, and it's pretty cool. They did a great job.
How did this come about for you? A buddy of mine that I worked for asked for a contact from you, and then, I'm sure this was, I can't remember how many months ago it was, but I'm sure when they approached you were like, well, maybe I can, come back for a visit and, kill a few birds with one stone here.
Yeah, I think it was you and Summer that got me connected to it. So you or Davey said someone's looking to get connected about the time capsule, and then I was like, oh yeah, that's cool. I forgot that we did that, and yeah, it's good to be back. Like you said, I get to see some family and stuff. And, yeah, it's good. I'm excited.
Would you remember, Tyler, some of your, like a lot of people, at elementary, people are coming and going, and then you would have left pretty early to go to the hat and everything else. But do you remember a lot of the kids that you went to school with?
Yeah, I do for sure. And then when I saw a video that they sent me, I definitely remembered more and more. But I think there's going to be pretty good turnout, so I'm sure I'll see a lot of my old classmates and stuff. So should be a fun morning.
Do you remember anything else that was in that time capsule that's going to be, released and unveiled today?
No, they didn't show me that. So I think after there's a couple talks. I think there's a walkthrough of all of the items and stuff. So I'm looking forward to that.
Tyler Ennis with us on the Kevin Karius Show here on Sports 1440. After your elementary days, you started to kind of own your craft, if you want to call it that, in Edmonton. And then before you got to Medicine Hat, you were in the KSC program. And that's when I first started covering you, Tyler, because you guys had really, really good teams. Just maybe go back to those days when you started to, I guess, kind of realize that you had a shot at a career in hockey.
Yeah, it was like up and down. I didn't really realize that hockey was going to be a career until probably my draft year in junior, because up until then it was a lot of doubt directed towards me. I was quite small. I think I've said this story many times, but Jared Spurgeon and I grew up together, and we were small kids, and we had a tough time making some teams. We were cut from some teams, and then KC, the organization KC, picked us up in like that draft you go through when you get cut. And we played well, and then I wasn't drafted to the WHL, but Medicine Hat signed me, so I went and just tried out for Medicine Hat and walked on as a 16-year-old, and then it just kind of went from there. So Willie Desjardins was really big for me and in my development. But along the way in Edmonton, it was lots of fun. Obviously, it's one of the best cities you can play hockey in. But it was hard to get to where I ended up, just because of my size and all that kind of thing. But it was a journey well worth it.
How much did that piss you off, Tyler? Just because you're always having to prove people because of your size, and especially at that younger age. Like you weren't even, as you said, you weren't even invited or drafted by the Medicine Hat Tigers. You're invited there, and you end up to score 40 goals twice. So how much did you use that to fuel your fire?
It was definitely fuel. I was more confused more than anything, because I was like performing well on the ice, definitely better than what I was given. So it was a little confusing, because I didn't understand why there was such a prejudice for size when I was playing well. So it was frustrating and confusing at the same time, but had a good supporting cast around me, my parents and friends. Like I said, Jared was going through the same thing. So it was part of life. Everybody goes through it. I don't think there's many NHLers that haven't gone through a lot of adversity. And you think that when you're a kid and you look at the NHLers, you think it must have been easy, but I would say 90% of the guys have had some sort of blip in the bump in the road. And my story wasn't very different from a lot of guys.
Edmonton's Tyler Ennis with us on the Kevin Karius Show here on Sports 1440, in town for the reveal of a time capsule at Good Shepherd Elementary School this morning. 25 years ago, this time capsule was sealed up. So Tyler and some of his classmates will unveil it today, this morning. You've mentioned Jared Spurgeon a couple of times here. What was it like? And again, to play with him at the bantam level in the KSC, starting out there at that point, the two of you. And now how cool is it to see him still going at it with the Minnesota Wild where he's captain?
It's crazy. I mean, it just shows you how he's just a fighter. He just continues to grind. I mean, he's obviously not the biggest guy, and he's carved out 1,000 games in NHL. He's a captain. They got a great team this year. He's a big reason why. So it's impressive because I know how my body feels, and his body must feel that's just even worse. You know, he's been going a long time. So I'm very impressed, very proud of him, and happy to watch him keep going.
Mm-hmm. You also mentioned Willie Desjardins in Medicine Hat. How integral was he a part of your career and, you know, then getting drafted to Buffalo and then moving on to the NHL?
Oh yeah, he was probably the biggest reason why I took a big leap in everyone else's eyes, because he was really motivating for me. He didn't care how big I was at all, and that was pretty refreshing for me, especially because the WHL was a very difficult and big league, and he didn't care. And our team played so fast, and all he worried about was effort level and compete and drive to win. And it was just a really fun experience there. And Willie cultivated just an amazing culture, and there's no surprise why they're the champs last year, and they have a chance to win it again this year.
Tyler Ennis with us in Sports 1440. Maybe just touch on some of the minor hockey coaches and then the guys that helped you along when you were a younger player before you moved to KFC and things like that helped you along here in Edmonton.
Yeah, so when I was really young, my dad and Barry Spurgeon were the coaches, and they were amazing. I think you could ask a lot of kids that they coached. They would say great things. We were very successful, and we had lots of fun playing. Doug Ringrose was the guy that selected me out of the draft process. When I was cut from CAC, he took me. So I was very appreciative of that. So he took me and Jared in the draft, and kind of we had some we played well. And then Sandra Pisani was our coach for the Pats in KC, and we had a really good team. I think we finished third at the Max Cup that year. Really competitive. He was an intense coach for sure, but a guy that really just wanted the most out of his players. And, you know, these were all coaches with different styles.
Yeah.
So I think it was nice to have a balance or at least a diverse group of coaches throughout my career, because you get used to, you know, anything.
Yeah.
You know, if a coach is a certain style, I was prepared for it, because I had you know, I had a variety of different coaching styles.
Tyler Ennis with us in Sports 1440. Was the 2009 World Junior Championship the highlight for you, Tyler, in the sense to win the gold? And I think there's about a half dozen guys still playing in the NHL, maybe 5, I think, that are still playing in the NHL right now.
Yeah, it was amazing. That was a dream come true for me. I was like probably every other Canadian kid watching World Juniors on TV every Christmas.
Yeah.
It's like a part of the culture here, watching World Juniors around Christmas time. So that was a little bit of a pinch me moment when I was playing for Team Canada. Willie was the assistant coach too, so it was nice to have kind of him there. Yeah, great team. We win the gold, and I think it was the 5th in a row for Canada at the time. So we had a lot of pressure on us to continue the streak. And one of the biggest goals ever was when Eberle scored with 5 seconds left against the Russians. So It was great because it had all the drama of what everybody loves about the World Juniors, and
Yeah.
we won the gold. So it was perfect.
Yeah, that Everly goal, that must have just raised probably when you still think about it, it raises the hair on the back of your neck.
Yeah, it's crazy because it was almost cliche how perfect it was. 5 seconds left, goalie pulled, we're our backs against the ropes, and he puts it in. So amazing goal. We had a lot of pressure on us because it was in Canada, and everyone wanted to win 5 in a row, and the fact that we might have lost in the semis was weighing pretty heavily on everyone at that moment, and then Ebbs kind of resurrected us there. So it was really amazing.
Well, you had a great tournament too, Tyler. 3 goals, 4 assists. So I know you got to get rolling out to Good Shepherd here, but just maybe one last thought on what you're looking forward to here with this time capsule coming up, I believe, at 9:00 this morning.
I'm just excited. I'm a little nostalgic, so walking back through my little elementary school will be really cool. Maybe see some teachers I had, see some of my old classmates, and then hopefully don't fumble my speech too much.
And you got a jersey for them for the school?
Yeah, I'm bringing in a jersey for sure.
Great stuff. Hey, appreciate you coming on, Tyler. I know you were saying I have no idea what time it is right now, but you'll have a wonderful morning, I assume. It'd be great to reconnect and see what's in that time capsule. So thanks for coming on. Enjoy your stay in Edmonton. Maybe you'll see Schlemmer. Maybe he'll take you out and play a little virtual golf at his place or something like that.
Yeah, I'll wait for that invite. We'll see.
It'll be coming next year if you know him, right?
Well, thanks for having me on.
Thanks, Tyler. Take care, man.
Yeah.
That's Tyler Ennis, former NHLer, 700 games, played with the KC Pats, the KC Squires. And how about that? Yeah, cut, him and Jared Spurgeon. Cut, end up at the KSC program, not drafted to the Western League, gets an invite, and Willie Desjardins takes him into the Medicine Hat Tigers program, and he goes back-to-back 40 goals. He's on the World Junior, the Canadian World Junior team. So it just shows you size means nothing. Drafted means nothing. It's all about heart. It's about wanting it more than the next guy beside you. And that's how you end up playing 700 games in the NHL. Plus, I mean, the guy was sick hands too as well. When we come back, Mark Spector from Rogers Sportsnet. Before that, time now for a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Sean Cunningham of Remax Real Estate. Get the home team advantage for your next move in the Edmonton area. If you are thinking about buying or selling a home, call or text Sean directly at 780-265-0165. That's 780-265-0165. Here is the Duke.
The Sports 1440 update.
Last night in San Jose, Connor McDavid going nuclear, 5 points, including a hat trick on road to a 5-2 victory for the Oilers to maintain first place overall in the Pacific Division. Evan Bouchard with a pair of assists as well, eclipsing the 90-point plateau, becoming just the second Oilers defenseman in franchise history to do so. Around the rest of the NHL, the Sabres beat the Rangers 5-3 at MSG, and the Maple Leafs, they get blanked by the Capitals 4-0. Out in Seattle, President of Hockey Operations, Ron Francis, announcing that he will be stepping down from his role at the end of this season. Francis first joined the team as their general manager after their inaugural season in 2022, took over the President of Hockey Ops in 2025 in April. PWHL last night, Seattle beating Ottawa 5-3, and in the BCHL playoffs, Spruce Grove Saints season coming to an end with a 9-3 loss at the hands of Brooks. Sherwood Park Crusaders, they take a 3-1 series lead over Blackfalds, winning last night at home 5-2. In the association, OKC Thunder secure the number 1 overall seed in the league with a 128-110 win over the Lakers. Chet Holmgren, 30 points in the victory there. Canadian Jamal Murray, 26 points, lifts Denver to a 136-119 win over Memphis. And in the majors, the Blue Jays snap their skid and pick up a win in their finale against the Dodgers, 4-3, the final from Rogers Center. Dylan Cease striking out 8 over 5 innings. Ty Rogers, however, picking up the win. And finally, from the Masters this morning at Augusta National, early going, Ola Bazal currently leading the field at 2 under through 7. Canadian Nick Taylor even through his first hole. Coming up on Sports 1440, Hour 2 of the Kevin Karius Show, we'll be joined by Sportsnet's Mark Spector and Frank Saravalli from Victory Plus TV. I'm Brandon Douglas at your Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440 in West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin. CKJR is a Stingray radio station.
Download the free radio player app and listen wherever you go.
Business owners, if rising electricity costs are cutting into your profits, there's a smarter way forward. Right now, federal clean technology tax credits can cover 30 to over 50% of the cost of a commercial solar system, delivering an immediate return on your investment. And in Edmonton and Sturgeon County, the Commercial Clean Energy Improvement Program offers long-term financing for up to 20 years, making solar more affordable than ever. Lock in lower energy costs for decades and strengthen your bottom line. Visit GreatCanadianSolar.com to get started.
Getting your vehicle sparkling clean doesn't have to cost a fortune. Take it into Hughes today and pay just loonies a wash.
Find us at HughesCarWash.com.
You wanted local sports on weekends. Saturday mornings at 9, check out the Saturday Sports Setup, where we'll tee up what's happening on the weekend sports scene. Tune in Saturday morning at 9 on Sports 1440.
Fast track your financial goals with a special rate term deposit from Vision Credit Union. For a limited time, take advantage of a great rate on 1, 3, or 5-year terms. Plus, as a Vision Credit Union member, you can earn up to 25% more on your interest through profit shares. For details, contact your branch today or visit visioncu.ca. That's visioncu.ca.
You started wearing it to guys' night.
Nice toque, you hoser.
Then you started wearing it to work.
Nice toque, you hipster.
But the truth is, you're not a hoser or a hipster. You're just trying to hide your hair loss. I'm Dr. Vance Elliott, and for over 2 decades, I've used the latest techniques to help thousands save their hair, including my own. Come see me today to explore your options. By the time it warms up enough to take off the toque, you could have a head of hair you won't want to hide. Go to drvanceelliott.com today.
Just in time for the morning skate. This is the Kevin Karius Show on Sports 1440.
All right, welcome back to the big program, 8:01 in Edmonton. So glad you're with us for hour number 2 of the Kevin Karius Show here on Sports 1440 with the Duke of Delburne, Josh Fenwick. Time now for On the Mark. And you know what? Just because spring isn't coming, well, it doesn't feel like it, but it's coming at Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC because they've got the Corvettes in the showroom. Plus, they want you to visit the brand new Autoplex. So it's a massive indoor sales room. They've got incredible deals right now for the spring. Check it out at Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC.com. This truck's for you as we welcome in Mark Spector from Rogers Sportsnet. Good morning, Spec.
Hey, what's going on? Kev, how are you?
Good, good. Just had Edmonton's
Tyler Ennis
on the show. So
yeah. Good guy.
Good guy. You know, I don't know if you caught a little bit about it, but he's in town. They did a time capsule 25 years ago at his elementary school, and they're going to reveal it today.
Where's his elementary school? In St. Albert?
No, it's Good Shepherd. So I think it's Northwest. I'd have
Okay.
to check on that one.
I
But
thought it was St. Albert. Anyway, good.
yeah.
A time capsule. Holy cow.
So here's the thing. In his time capsule, like he was part of the he doesn't remember if the whole school did it, but you know, in his class, they put stuff in there. And he said in a video that he wanted to play in the NHL and he wanted to play for the Edmonton Oilers.
Really?
Yeah. So
Wow.
how's that? How cool is that?
I wonder if they've had any Kevin Karius doing a sportscast in that time capsule.
Oh, man. Well, no, that's probably up. It's up for an Emmy Award winner.
You know you're getting old when your stuff's showing up in time capsules, buddy.
Well, we talked about it. Like, I mean, I started covering Tyler when he was at KSC because they had really good teams back in the day. He mentioned, him and Jared Spurgeon were playing together.
Yeah. Couple guys that defied all the odds. Like when you're their size, I've said many times, there's it's a sliding relationship between how small you are and how good you have to be. And those are two small NHL players, man. And they both played. I mean, didn't Tyler Ennis played 700 games, and Spurgeon will probably get to 1,000, won't he?
I think he's over it already.
Could be. Like, he's a really good player and a huge piece of that Minnesota team. And both those guys they're just small human beings. It's what they are, but very good players in a big man's league. They both survived a long time. Not just survived, they were good players for a long time. So, let that be a lesson for anyone who's not blessed with size. Get real good and you can play.
Well, I was just saying, I mean, size, like he wasn't drafted to the Western League. He went to Medicine Hat on a tryout, back-to-back 40 goals, plays in 09 for the World Junior team, wins a gold in Ottawa. And again, the size, it's the size of the heart, it's guts, it's everything inside. Like Tyler Ennis was gifted offensively. There's no question about that. But I mean, he was a small guy in a big man's game, and he played a long time, just like Jared Spurgeon. So, and
good for them.
Wonderful story.
Going back to look at a time capsule. That's awesome.
Yeah. Anyway, he came over from Switzerland to see it. So,
did he?
Seeing family.
Is that where he's playing, or is he just living over there?
He's just living. His wife's from there. So he finished his career overseas. But I was talking to texting Schlemmer last night, and I said, where did he come in from? Because I was just texting Tyler. I said to Schlemmer, where did he come in from? He goes, I don't know. Schlemmer goes, he's got villas in France. He's got villas in Switzerland. I don't know where he came in from. So yeah, they're good buddies from their Medicine Hat days. So it was good to have him. Hey, last night's game, anyone stand out in particular to you?
Is that like a joke?
Yeah, isn't that something? Unreal.
Yeah. One of the quotes that Connor McDavid said after the game, he said, I don't know. He said, this year I've really grown to like back-to-backs. He said, I feel like I feel good right away and I hit the ground running, which is interesting. I can't remember ever hearing a player say that they've grown to like back-to-backs. And, he just commanded. Well, I mean, even in Utah, he was excellent.
Mm-hmm.
He's really, I feel like it's kind of vintage Connor McDavid. It's like he said, okay, Draisaitl's out. Now Hyman's out. He says, I'm just going to have to carry this team till these guys get back offensively. And he's good enough to not just think that, or he would never say that. He's good enough not to just think it, but to actually do it.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, man, the two goals he scored on this trip, the power play entry and that one last night where he did the backhand drive around those are NHL players, man. He's blasting past. Did you see the video of Nedeljkovic chucking that puck out of his crease?
Yeah, he's like, what's going on here?
That was the most awesome shot of a guy saying, what am I supposed to do here?
Well, he's got so Letty's got the stick on him. Dickinson comes in with a late stick. Nedeljkovic is trying to have a little bit of a poke check, and somehow the puck gets through all three of them, and then he's got an open net. He's like, like you say, Nedeljkovic is going, let's just get the face off and drop the puck. So hey, here's a question for you, and I asked this to the Duke, and I don't know if he saw eye to eye with me, but so I said this off the top. I said, for a guy, and if you look at his goals last night, his first goal and then his third goal, for a guy that has the puck on his stick as much, for the guy that is rushing the puck at speed and controls the play, controls everything, I think he doesn't get enough puck luck with some goals that just bounce in off of stuff. You know what I mean?
Well, he doesn't get a lot. Like, for instance, how would I say? He's not a guy that shoots into crowds looking for tips. He's banked a few dozen in off of Zach Hyman's hard on his stick and he hits the stick and it goes in. Yeah. But he doesn't waste his shots. And as such, he doesn't get a lot of lucky goals. He doesn't get many that go off of someone's rear end and in the net. He certainly doesn't get a lot of like his shots aren't deflected in by other guys very often. Sure. So you're talking about the goal, his hat trick goal that got deflected 5-hole.
Off of Orlov's stick. And actually, to be honest with you, the first goal of the game, too, that he scored. So he's just poking at it, and it goes off the skate of Nedeljkovic and in, you know?
Yeah, right. So there's a couple lucky goals. I guess I'd say to you, when you have the puck all night, when you create chance after chance after chance, I would ask, remember, for every lucky goal, there's at least one, maybe a couple more that should have gone in that, when the goalie makes a save with the knob of his stick on you, that's always fluke. Comes around, goes around. I'm sure he's had a few that should have gone in that didn't.
Yeah. Did we lose Spec there? Are you still there, Spec? You got it?
I'm still here.
Okay. Sorry, pal. Hey, we were talking to, besides Connor, the way he played, there was just so many other things to talk about. And I was surprised the way that San Jose played in the third period. They were playing like they were up 5-2, but they were, and full marks to the Oilers, though, to lock it down. And we'll get to Ingram and we'll get to Dickinson momentarily. But I thought the physical element, that third line was really banging until Dickinson went down. Doc and Frederick were throwing it around all night.
Yeah, Doc's had quite a impression in these two games. He's really, when he's on the ice, like, bodies are banging, and he scored a goal the other night. He's he kind of stirs the drink out there a little bit, which everyone loves to watch. And I think I've always said, this team needs places to find emotion, and to maybe in a tight game to get a momentum turn. They need to be able to find those things, like, without someone scoring a goal. There's other ways to turn momentum. And the Oilers have not always been good at discovering those, or having players who Corey Perry was a guy. He'd go out and hit someone or fight someone and change the momentum in the game. They've always kind of lacked that. With Edmonton, it's McDavid or Draisaitl, or someone has to score a goal, and that changes momentum. Well, that's, it's not always easy to do. So having Doc, I like a guy like Doc, and I quite like Doc. I didn't know much about him when he came here. Yeah. He's got great size. They're getting bigger, the Oilers, which is always a good thing. And I like him. There's a place for him, especially in the playoffs, man. Don't you think?
Well, I think, again, if those two guys are going to be playing on a line, and we'll see who's going to be centering them, those two guys are on a line together, and maybe it ends up to be closer to your fourth line, and who knows who's going to be centering that fourth line once everybody comes back, and if everybody comes back.
Yep.
That line, that's a killer. That is a killer bang line with some big bodies that are establishing the forecheck. And you could see, there were a few times where I noticed Frederick and Doc in particular, where they were going, you know what, I'm going to just make this hit. And if I'm out of the play for another second or two, because I'm exerting myself, whether it be in the far corner or, on the forecheck, while there's a zone exit, I'm okay with a guy like Dickinson, who's going to be back in position, whether it be in the neutral zone or coming back. So that's what I see from those two guys. So
sure, man. Yeah. So you're playing with the right centerman, and you're right. You do take yourself out of the play a little bit, but usually it's, often it can be worth it. Like, I thought about last night when Doc put the body, he was in the forecheck, Orlov moved the puck, and Doc finished his check on the end boards, and he just erased Orlov. And I thought, in the playoffs, when you're playing against Quinn Hughes, or you're playing against, Miro Heiskanen, or some defenseman like Drew Doughty or whatever, Brant Clark, that you're trying to get hits on, that's a line that can exact a toll. Like, you put 3 or 4 more of those hits on Dmitry Orlov, and all of a sudden he's not moving so quick.
Yeah.
So that's great to have coming in the playoffs. Exactly what I feel like. That's exactly what your depth lines. You got to have a depth line with an identity, and a depth line that can mete out some pain once in a while, and that's what those guys are.
Well, you're always saying in the playoffs, you're investing in your physicality, whether it be game 1, because it's going to come into play in game 6 and 7, when you were wearing guys down. Mark Spector with us in Sports 1440. So Connor Ingram leaves. What did you make of that? I mean, he came out again. You saw it, stretched out a bit. He looked fine on the, it's different in San Jose where you're sitting way away from the bench. But what did you make of the whole scenario?
Well, did you see the video online of him getting hurt?
No, I didn't, to be honest with you.
Dustin Nielsen, some listener or someone he follows, he tweeted it out. And it's just a goofy little, he just came across his crease on a play, and then he kind of, I don't know if he caught his foot in the post or something happened, but it was about 4 minutes and 30 seconds left in the second period. And he rose up and looked uncomfortable immediately. So I think that's probably a pretty good catch as to when it happened. It was nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was just a nothing move. And that tells you that he tweaked something. And, the way Chris Knobloch phrased it post-game was, we just thought that it would be best for him and best for our team not to push it. So what he's saying is it's 5-2. We're playing great. We're dominating San Jose. Let's just get this guy out of the game because he's our number one. So let's hope for his sake that he, I could very much see with 3 games left in the season here that we might not even see him again this season if there's anything going on, because he's a pretty valuable piece here. Bakersfield's in Bakersfield this weekend. I absolutely could see Pickard coming down and backing up Jari Saturday afternoon in Los Angeles. No?
I don't know. I mean, just the way, like, even when he was stretching out, and it just didn't seem like there was a big concern level last night. You know what I mean?
Well, maybe. Hey, listen, who knows how it goes, but this guy's, I hate to say that, like, anyone other than 97 is your most important player, but without Ingram, where's this team going?
Well, and Spec, you look a little tired. Were you tuckered out from all your runs yesterday?
Yeah, quite a day yesterday on the mountain, man. Holy cow. Skied in the morning with Brian Rode. Then I ran into these 3 donkeys I've known my whole life, went to like junior high with. So I skied all afternoon with them. And tons of snow and great weather, and holy cow. Yeah, I'm a little bit tired today, Kev. I need to get out there and get a little fresh air and wake up.
Your 3 buddies that you ran into, maybe you guys should have put together a time capsule and thrown it out there.
I think half of our ski equipment comes from a time capsule.
Hey, I got another set of skis if you want, the ones that I brought to Sports Central.
Yeah, I'll bet you do, Kev. Yeah, that maybe some of that time capsule stuff can go straight to Sports Central with your name on it.
Never mind. So what's your agenda today, big guy?
I'll probably have a little, make a few turns up there again today if we can, and spend some time in the afternoon, maybe come back and walk around Jasper a little bit. It looks like a beautiful day here. Sun's peeking out.
You're going to be so stiff. You can't even get out of bed, man.
Oh, yeah. What do you think I'm doing this interview in bed? I've already done a walk 10 blocks outside.
Yeah, whatever. It reminds me of, we did Sean Brown years ago, and I think he was in Banff with Wendy. And we said, turn the camera, because he was, I was at Global. Turn your thing around so we can, because he had it in the mountains and there was a glare coming off. And he put it to the bed, and the bed was unmade, and Wendy was running to the bathroom, and it was hilarious. Brownie was like, what are we doing here, man? What are we doing? So his phone just blew up because people were watching and texted in. So
yeah, Shuck always sends me over to the corner because she doesn't want to get caught walking behind the camera. Whatever happened to just doing a radio interview on the phone? Now we got to comb our hair, for Pete's sakes. Like, what the heck?
You look pretty good.
I didn't sign up for this.
I got to say, after a few pops and whatever on the hill, you look pretty good, but I don't want to see it tomorrow after 2 days, straight days on the hill. So have fun. Safe travels back, big guy.
All right. Sounds good.
Mark Spector from Rogers Sportsnet. On the Mark. Brought to you by Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. This truck's for you. Check them out at northgategm.com. Just got all the new liners in, Duke, and the paper's too slippery. It's not like the old ones, so I got to get used to it here.
You haven't marked it up with your greasy sausage links to get the right grip spots on it yet.
Pork fingers a little bit, yeah. When we come back, Frank Saravalli, Victory Plus TV, and the Kevin Karius Show on Sports 1440 AM Radio. We're streaming on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch.
Hey, Edmonton, did you know a local Play Alberta winner scored over $500,000 on Mega Jackpots Ocean Bells? Think about the season tickets you could lock down with that kind of cash. From major casino winners every hour to jackpots worth millions and hundreds of popular games to money that stays in the province, there's never been a better time to sign up for Play Alberta. Download the app today to get started with casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Must be 18 plus to play. When you gamble, use your game sense. Whether you're a craft beer connoisseur or more of a wine aficionado, there's always something new to discover at Sherbrooke Liquor, a unique family-owned independent liquor store. The selection, incredible. The non-alcohol section is also very impressive. Sherbrooke Liquor, expert, knowledgeable staff with a passion for unique finds. More than just a liquor store, we're a community. Alberta's best, the one and only Sherbrooke Liquor. Wine, spirits, and oodles of beer. Visit SherbrookeLiquor.com.
Don't let equipment failure stop you cold. At AWS Welding in Nisku, our factory-trained service techs are on hand for all welding equipment repairs. We're a fully warranted center for Miller, Lincoln, and ESAB. And we service all makes and models. Proper, regular service extends the life of your gear and keeps it running at peak capacity. Don't wait for a breakdown. Book your service appointment today at 780-979-0470. AWS Welding. We make it happen.
Want to invest in Alberta's workforce, fill your talent pipeline, and get funding? Careers, the next generation connects employers with motivated, pre-vetted youth through funded internships. Easy, impactful, and risk-free.
When you work with a group like Careers who have experience in that area, they can demystify and navigate all the complex steps and stakeholders that have to be involved.
Visit careersnextgen.ca today.
Fast track your financial goals with a special rate term deposit from Vision Credit Union. For a limited time, take advantage of a great rate on 1, 3, or 5-year terms. Plus, as a Vision Credit Union member, you can earn up to 25% more on your interest through profit shares. For details, contact your branch today or visit visioncu.ca. That's visioncu.ca. Oh, Canada. Jiffy Lube is here to keep you moving through mornings like these. Full synthetic oil changes, quality Pennzoil products, tire checks, battery tests, and everything else your car needs to get through our winters. Stop by Jiffy Lube for fast, easy, warranty-approved service. No appointment, no hassle. Just dependable service right when you need it. Jiffy Lube, keeping you moving through this.
Stories, guests, and insights. This is Sports 1440 and the Kevin Karius Show.
All right, welcome back to the big program. 8:21 in Edmonton, and time now for the headliner of the day, brought to you by Mr. Rooter Plumbing, stepping up to the plate so you won't have to for all your plumbing needs. Go to mrrooter.ca as we welcome in Frank Saravalli from Victory Plus TV from the craps tables at the Bellagio in Las Vegas. Good morning, Frank.
How you doing, Kevin?
Doing great. When did you get to Vegas for the Frozen Four?
Tuesday night. Did shows here yesterday and today and tomorrow, and then I'll be heading home.
Oh boy. Hey, I mean, everyone's thinking Michigan's the best team here. And, full marks for them. They got a hell of a team. Can Denver beat them today? And could the winner of Wisconsin and North Dakota beat them in the championship final?
I think any one of these teams could beat any one of them. Honestly, I think this is such a coin flip. And look, it's single elimination hockey. Anything could happen. That's what makes the Final Four, the Frozen Four, anytime you get to single elimination, anything, it's so electric. But this Frozen Four in particular, it's actually the first one I've been to. With the Blue Bloods that are here, it's all four of them are big dog legit programs. And that just adds another layer to it. Like they've all got that high-end, top-end talent. It's not to knock on anyone, but it's not like a Dartmouth or Quinnipiac or pick another place that's more of a mid-major type feel. It's a totally different sense.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of great players, obviously, in the tournament, and some guys are going to sign as soon as they finish this weekend. Is TJ Hughes on the Oilers' radar? How high would he be up on the Oilers' radar, and could he sign in Edmonton?
I mean, the answer to all those things is yes. Is he on the Oilers' radar? I'm sure he is. Could he sign? Yes. Will teams be pursuing him to sign as soon as this season ends, whether it's today or Saturday? The answer is also yes. Look, we've talked about the Oilers and their pursuit of Veet Oswald and a couple of the other players that they're after. When you don't have picks and prospects, you have to go down this path where you're trying to turn over every stone possible to find the next player that can join your lineup. And look, Stan Bowman is really well versed in that from his time in Chicago. He understands the power of it. And so, yeah, I'd imagine that they're one of the teams that's on the list that's trying to get this guy.
Well, enjoy the Frozen Four, Frank. It should be exciting, and enjoy your time in Vegas. It's going to be exciting for the next couple of days with what's happening in the NHL and the races down the stretch. We'll get to those momentarily. First off, Ron Francis in Seattle, going to be stepping down as president of hockey operations. Your take on that move?
Not surprised. My understanding is that Jason Botterill, even though he had Ron Francis above him as president of hockey ops, has had full and total autonomy on the decision-making process. The final decision has rested with Jason Botterill since he took over. And so the timing of it is interesting, just with some other openings. Does Ron Francis have something else lined up? Definitely raises a question. Also a former Toronto Maple Leaf. Makes you curious what he has up his sleeve. But my understanding was that the Kraken had kind of moved past Ron Francis a little while ago and promoted him to, with the time remaining on his contract, out of respect for the person and player that he was, to just allow him to have a role. So this is a not unsurprising change.
Yeah. Where do you think Seattle's franchise is right now? Like right in the middle of the pack. They're not going to make the playoffs here. They've got some young guys, but they've also got some old guys too, Frank. Are they missing a little bit of a window here where they could maybe change their direction of where they're going?
Well, they missed it 5 years ago under Ron Francis.
Okay.
And the reason for that is they left so much immediate talent on the table with their selections in the expansion draft because, and look, I get it. They were always going to be unfairly compared to Vegas, a team that just hit the ground running and made the Cup final in their first year. And all of a sudden people are saying, oh, this is possible. You should do this. Well, there were a lot of lessons learned from NHL teams between those two drafts that prevented Seattle from making a lot of or squeezing a lot of the same pressure points. And I get all that. But to me, the biggest thing that stands out about Ron Francis and his tenure and this Kraken franchise now moving forward is, and it's going to change under Jason Botterill, but they were way too conservative and cautious. It's great to have salary cap space, but it doesn't matter if you can't arm yourself with really talented players that are difference makers. And then Seattle, as they ramped up, kind of missed the boat on getting the high end. Like it's either one or the other. Being stuck in the mushy middle and trying to become a playoff team before you're ready, all it does is lead to future failure. And they're the murkiest of the murky middle teams in the NHL. They have no real prospect to become a contending team right now. And they're too far from the bottom to be adding high end players that I just think they're lost. And right now, and I do believe Jason Botterill will change that, but going back to Ron Francis and his 8 straight misses in Carolina of the postseason, I don't a Hall of Fame person, there's no doubt, and player. But I don't understand why, if there was another opportunity, why a team would be looking at his track record and saying this is someone that they should be hiring.
Frank Seravalli with us from Vegas, Victory Plus TV, the Kevin Carey Show here on Sports 1440. On one of your 8,000 shows you do a day, Frank, regarding Patrick Waugh, some players whispering, saying that they didn't agree with some of his direction of how he would try to be motivating the team. Maybe can you explain that to our listeners?
Yeah, it's interesting because obviously that makes the rounds, and then I got some pushback from another Islanders player yesterday saying, "Hey, I don't know what you're getting at, but Patrick Waugh was an absolute beauty, and he was great to work with." So obviously some mixed opinions, and what I had mentioned before that a player passed along was just that there was in the messaging from Patrick Waugh to the team that they're, obviously there's competitiveness and there's a fire that rages there. Some players just felt like the ego and his headstrong nature and the success that he had as a player. They mentioned that he on way more than one occasion was talking about the Stanley Cups that he won, that seemed to produce an eye roll from players that are like, okay, great, but we want to know how many Stanley Cups you've won as a coach, because that's what we're trying to do here.
Gotcha. Do you think he surfaces as an NHL coach again? He's got 2 more years left?
It's a really good question. He's made a ton of money in his career. Does not need to do it. Had, I think, not changed the opinion. Everyone knew he was a good coach. I mean, going back to Colorado, good coach, reputation of being difficult to work with. And I think some of that opinion definitely changed in New York. But the fact that he was fired with 4 games left is not always the best indication. I would imagine that he wants to keep working because he is so competitive, but he also has the opportunity with 2 full years being paid plus a pile of money in his career that he could be choosy.
Do you think he just goes, you know what, I'm going to go back to grassroots, and if I still want to coach, I'll coach junior or something like that?
Maybe. I mean, he had so much success with the Remparts and certainly could be a possibility. My guess would be if you're getting paid NHL money for 2 years that you go sit at the end of your dock and enjoy life.
Frank Seravalli with us on Tuesday, right when we were on, all that Neil Glasberg stuff broke out of Toronto, Frank. I'll be honest, I was surprised. I wanted to see what the reaction was going to be like in Toronto specifically. And I know that the way things work, who owns the team with Rogers. So I understand where Sportsnet comes from. But I think in the last several months, the guys at TSN have gone after the Leafs a lot more because obviously they don't have that ownership vested interest in MLSE. Yes, they have broadcast rights. I think their narrative has changed. I was surprised they didn't go after this story a little bit more. I understand it, I guess, too, but what have you heard, I guess, in the last couple of days on that sense?
Well, I would say one thing is that a lot of people have said to me is the Leafs know all this and they're okay with it, so why do you care? And I think there's certainly a valid argument to that. Why should someone care? I can give you a handful of reasons. It's the influence and the pay-to-play nature of it all that should be problematic, and which is why people who are either currently in management roles and not represented by Neil Glasberg, or are want to be, or are potential candidates for these roles, they're really upset behind the scenes, saying this feels like a sham of a process, that you either have to be a Neil Glasberg client or the prospect of being one in order to then get yourself an authentic look. When someone who is going through the vetting process and clearly Neil will have a huge role in shaping the list. Let's take it a step further. Let's say that he is, and I don't know the exact specifics or mechanics of this, but let's say that he is sitting in on some of these interviews. What happens if a candidate who's not a client has a string of incredibly smart ideas and points, and he's jotting them down? Is he passing them along to one of his own clients because he stands to financially gain? Is he, after the fact, pursuing that person, saying, hey, you were really good in the Toronto interviews. How about paying a retainer and coming aboard?
Yeah.
Because that person's then going to be pressured to, well, if I don't join up with this guy, maybe I'm going to miss out on the next opportunity. I just think this whole thing stinks in a way that, as you mentioned on Tuesday, the crown jewel or one of the crown jewel franchises of the NHL just doesn't need to be part of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm with you on this, Frank. And I mean, we've had texters in the last couple of days because we've talked about it, and we've discussed it quite a bit here on Sports 1440. Connor McDavid last night, a game for the ages. The Oilers needed a type of performance. So, I mean, we run out of stuff to say about him. Just watching him last night, your thoughts on, and back-to-back games where he scores highlight reel goals. It's just incredible.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because he scores goals like that in such a routine way that it's almost like we don't show them or talk about them much, which is crazy. That expectation of greatness every night, that he somehow meets that bar is pretty incredible.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say the biggest thing or the most interesting thing as we reach these last 8 days of the regular season is, where does this Hart Trophy race stand? I think a lot of people shrug and say, well, this is not the award for most outstanding player, which I think most people believe is Connor McDavid. This is the award of most valuable player.
To his team.
To his team. Does Macklin Celebrini factor in? Not for me if the Sharks miss the playoffs. Where does Nikita Kucherov stand, and Nathan McKinnon? And obviously McDavid has made a significant and real push. And it feels like, as a voter, I'm not saying this is correct, I'm just telling you what I believe other voters think, is that the weight of these last few weeks and that lasting impression that you make really means something when people go to turn in their ballot, which, by the way, ballots are being distributed today.
Ooh. Hey, just on that about not making the playoffs, and I totally agree with that about a player winning the Hart. Now, does that narrative change for you or others, let's just say for the Norris and Zach Werenski, if Columbus doesn't make the playoffs?
It doesn't for me, because I think from top to bottom, Zach Werenski has been the best defenseman in the NHL this season. And that's, like, I love what Evan Bouchard has done, and I think his season has been incredible. And I think when you look at it from late October till now, I mean, you certainly have the case that Evan Bouchard has been the best. Yeah. But Zach Werenski didn't have an October like that. Yeah. And you have to consider the totality of it. He's leading his team in scoring. I mean, just look at the way he impacted the game against the Red Wings the other night. Goal and an assist on the game-tying goal with 17 seconds left, shootout winner. He does everything for that team. And in fact, he's a great argument for the Hart with the value that he presents. But I think it highlights or underlines how good he's been as a defenseman. And I don't know that the playoffs, because it's not about value, I don't know that it enters into the conversation as much.
Mm-hmm. You know, it's funny for me. Yeah, for me, Bouchard 6 weeks ago was at 4. Then he went to 3, and he went to 2. I'll be honest right now, Frank. I think, but if Columbus doesn't make the playoffs, I think, to be honest with you, I've gone to being at 50-50 between Bouchard and Werenski. I don't know where you stand on that.
You could convince me. Mm-hmm. I just don't think you're going to convince a couple hundred people.
Yeah. Hey, Frank, Masters is underway. I know you won't be able to watch much because it's a busy weekend, but if you could throw a little cash down at one of the windows, who are you taking to win?
So I joined a pool, and it's pretty aggressive. There's tens of thousands of dollars on the line. and I'm excited. So I'll give you my picks.
Okay.
You had to pick 10, and they're from all different tiers.
Mm-hmm.
But I had Scheffler, Schauffele, Cam Young, Ludwig Aberg, Fleetwood, Matsuyama, Cam Smith, and then I had a run of the Asians, Siwoo Kim, Minwoo Lee, and Carlos Ortiz. So they're from all different, like you had to pick like a true lottery ticket at the very bottom, and then there was like the past champions, the recent champions. It was a whole different, there were different tiers, but those were some of the names that I really liked.
Well, Carlos Ortiz is having a tough go right now. So, so is it?
He was in the very bottom tier, like anyone that was 200 to 1 or more. Were you had to pick someone, and then they count 6 of your 10, the 6 best of your 10. The thing you're trying to avoid is missed cuts. Because missed cuts on the weekend count as 80.
Wow! I should have sent you where we golf together here at the ranch. I should have sent you the ranch golf and country club pool, Frank.
Well, you never think of me.
Well, get me on your show sometime. Maybe we can talk about it.
So some more pay to play. Okay. Got it.
Hey, enjoy Vegas, enjoy the Frozen Four, and have a great weekend. We'll see you on Tuesday.
Thanks, Kevin. See you.
All right, Frank Saravalli, Victory Plus TV. And our headliner of the day brought to you by Mr. Rooter Plumbing, keeping you out of the penalty box. That's mrrooter.ca. Duke, I've just noticed that the Mr. Rooter liners have changed. So I got to go through them all because sometimes you just go off of the fact that we've been saying them for a while, and you got to mesmerized, if you want to call it that. 833-401-1440. How about our buddy Blair, Duke, that is texted in now because he won the prize last night for the over-under, correct? And he's never texted you so much. Now you guys are best buddies because he's won something.
Well, I think we've always been buddies. He just takes a daily nap from 11 to noon, or so he claims.
But that's not fair.
So he claims that's the case, but I don't know if I believe him. I think he's still listening, even if he doesn't want to admit it. Maybe Connor and I are winning him over.
You know, I got some things to talk about with this Blair guy.
Well, so Kevin, you mentioned this at the start of the show because some of these text messages about him winning last night spilled over from last night, of course, at the conclusion of the postgame show. And it was a late one for Walks and Donnie, of course, with the Pacific time zone start. Because when you win a contest, whether it be on our pre-post or any other, we need your full information to set you up, whether it be to mail the prize to you, collection, whatever. And that includes their full name. And a lot of texters go by handles on the text line. Like, for example, Montana to Rice, Original 6 texted in. Maybe Rockford is Rockford's real name, but something tells me probably not. Blair goes by Blair, but he texted it his full legal name. Yeah. And now you want to dox him live on the radio.
I never said I would dox him on the radio, Duke.
I think you said only if he's getting a little testy, then maybe you'll.
No. But I'm fine, because I don't think he got the text that I sent him.
Well, there's no context to that whatsoever.
Well, because his real name comes out. So I did Cosmo from Seinfeld.
Yeah, obviously. But I don't think he would understand the context there, where all he texted in was, "Good morning. Anyone there know what I won last night?" So Blair entered a contest despite not knowing what was up for grabs.
Yeah.
Credit to him. Hey, that's fine. All you got to do is pick over or under. You don't have to even know what you're playing for or even guessing on. It's a simple entry, one word or the other. But yeah, you just texted him back, Cosmo. I hope you get that one. And then you just happened to capitalized Blair. Kevin, if you sent this to anybody, I'm not sure they would fully understand. There's no context here.
Oh, he comes at me all the time, man. Cosmo?
Ant-Man says his legal name is Ant-Man.
Is Ant-Man.
Good for him.
When we come back, we'll get to more of your text, 833-401-1440. Kevin Karius, Duke of Delburne. Josh Fenwick on Sports 1440 AM radio. We're streaming on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch.
Mr. Rooter sees a UFO.
Mr. Rooter says 1 plunge, 2.
What's this?
A UFO? An unidentified floating object. It's beginning to glow and levitate.
Thank you, Mr. Rooter. You have freed us from the gravity of the white hole. Humanity will be spared.
Wow! People aren't going to believe this when I put it in our new commercial.
If you want to believe in a plumber, call Mr. Rooter.
Do you have neck or back pain? Ever go for treatment hoping for a simple fix only to realize your stubborn spine is basically a science project with attitude? Hey, we get it. And honestly, we're a little sorry because great rehab does take proper experimenting. But at Leading Edge Physiotherapy, we don't just toss exercises into the beaker and hope it doesn't explode. We start with the right diagnosis, then mix hands-on care, precise manual therapy, and evidence-based technology. The formula your body actually needs. Science and skill with gratitude, not attitude. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
Nothing beats getting a deal at McDonald's. Why? Because you get a deal now.
And a deal later.
Redeem an offer from the latest mailer or on the McDonald's app and dig into instant savings. Plus, you earn points towards
Free McDonald's.
Now that's what I call
A double whammy of deals.
Why does that keep happening? Deals sent right to your door. Check your mailbox for the latest McDonald's mailer loaded with delicious value. For a limited time at participating restaurants in Western Canada.
Great news for your weekend project. CFI, that's Custom Floors Inc., is now open 6 days a week with Saturday hours from 10 till 2. Get top quality Canadian products from Beaulieu with the convenience you need. For your free estimate, visit CFI at customfloorsinc.ca.
Are you looking for safe and reliable transportation solutions for your wedding, corporate retreat, or golf trip? Look no further than Silent Rides, Alberta's premier charter bus company. Whether your group is big or small, Silent Rides has you covered. We offer 3 different sizes of units to cater to your needs, and we provide first-class service at affordable rates. Get your quote today. For more information and to request a quote, contact sales at 877-748-0991 or visit silentrides.ca.
Summer, it's coming. An unstoppable force that will turn your home into the Sweatbox.
Don't live in a summer blockbuster. Pro Solutions is your one-call solves-it-all expert for AC repairs, tune-ups, and new installations. With fast appointments and flexible financing, we'll make sure your home story has a comfortable ending. AC season is coming soon, so book today.
Lock in pre-season pricing today.
Visit prosolutionsinc.ca to schedule your service today.
This is Andrew Walker, host of the postgame show on Sports 1440. After every hockey game this season, tune in and chime in as we talk about the game. It's all sponsored by Legacy Heating and Cooling. Don't get left in the cold. Visit legacyheating.ca. Step up to the plate with confidence this season with St. Albert's Source for Sports, your trusted experts in baseball. From the diamond to the dugout, get the latest from top brands like Mizuno, Victus, Marucci, Rawlings, and Easton. Suit up with new cleats, helmets, pants, and don't forget the gloves, because champions know that every catch counts and every play matters. At St. Albert's Source for Sports, they know the game and they have the gear to prove it. St. Albert's Source for Sports, your source for baseball gear over 35 years.
Ever had a problem returning auto parts? At Ed's Auto Salvage in Westlock, we do things differently. Hi, it's Lisa, and we're proud to offer one of the best return policies in the business. When you shop with us, you buy with confidence, knowing that if it doesn't fit or if it's not the right part, we'll make it right. For nearly 50 years, Ed's Auto Salvage has helped Alberta drivers save money, stay on the roads, and shop stress-free. Trust the team that stands behind every part we sell. Visit us at edsautosalvage.com.
Your game, your station. Sports 1440.
And watch us on YouTube, Facebook, and X.
All right. Welcome back to the big program. 847 in Edmonton. Kevin Karius, Duke of Delburne, Josh Fenwick with you here on a Thursday morning. Masters weekend is here. Some guy's kind of mad just now, just watching the old tube, and he got pumped and looks like he ripped his bag of chips open on a drive. Is that Matt Fitzpatrick? Looks like he came out of that one. Yeah, that looked like a Duke slice.
Going the wrong way, though.
Yeah, lefty.
I'm a lefty.
You know, we got to bring in Josh Fenwick here because, well, first of all, you guys are watching
not now. Now it's on the TV.
The first hour, you guys are watching.
I had
on your little
the
phone
little
over there.
TSM Plus action holes 4, 5, and 6 hole coverage for the first hour of the show, and I still got it streaming. I just don't have it on the screen as actively here since we have it on the TVs. But
Patrick Reed comes out of the blocks here. Birdies the first hole, Eagles the second hole. And I mean, you can't ask for a better start. He leads at 3 under par. Jose Maria Olazabal. I mean, this guy, he's ageless. He plays the course so well. Multiple winner at the Masters. He's at 2 under par. Kurt Kitayama, Sam Burns, Lowry, and Fleetwood, all at 2 under par. So good starts for all of those golfers. Max Homa, one of many at 1 under. Now, again, you guys watched the first hour. I was just watching the leaderboard, but did anything pop out in particular for you? The thing that popped out for me is Josh Fenwick saying that when we golfed together this year, when he is 185 or 190 yards.
Whoa. That don't you even try that.
180.
We were talking about 175, 180.
No, 180. 180
It was
yards.
178 yard par 3. So I was like, oh yeah, right around there. That range.
178 yard par 3. He's bringing his 7-iron out.
Oh yeah.
Which I said, that's not happening.
Absolutely, it's happening.
Duke, a comment on this? So,
listen, Josh has talked up his own golf game.
Yeah, I wouldn't exactly say I've
essentially
talked
the
up my
day
own
I
golf
met
game.
him during his interview for his practicum last spring. We're coming up actually on the anniversary of his interview because it's his birthday
right?
this Saturday. And
So
he interviewed for the practicum on his 21st birthday, or maybe the day before. Day before.
But it
anyway,
wasn't 365 days ago today.
Since then, he talks about, he said, I really got into it during COVID, not an uncommon tale, but he just revels us with tales of his golf game from across the city, across the province. So he leads me to believe he's pretty good.
Wow.
So maybe I shouldn't be shocked that he can hit his 7-iron 180 yards.
Okay.
Pretty impressive stuff.
Listen, I'm not sitting here telling you I'm a scratch golfer or anything, which is what you guys are sort of making it sound like. I am a barely bogey golfer.
So I'm
he's just got
picturing
power,
like,
Kevin.
okay,
He's a power
if you and Sam are golfing together, what
Oh,
happens?
come on. I pump Sam.
No, Sam's
Sam's a
got
plus-
that lankiness.
tell you what,
I
It's
bet
a
he's
plus 1 or 2.
I bet he's
Tell you what,
infamously.
Sam can play from the fronts, the ladies, and I'll play from the tips, and I'll crush him by 10 strokes. I'll give him a stroke a hole.
I like how you're challenging Sam to
I would give
a
him a
golf
stroke
game.
a hole.
He doesn't even work here anymore.
No, I know. Sam, come on down from Fort Mac. All right, we'll hit the course.
So a lot of people coming in. Matt Leduc says 7-iron off a tee in the afternoon with no wind, 175 to 180 isn't impossible. Fair, but we're talking about Josh here. David Whitetail, a hooded hooking 7-iron looks and acts a lot like a 5-iron. LOL. That's what I see.
No, that's not it. You just lock up the wrists a little bit. It's all in the hips.
Eddie Steele says, ha, ha, ha. Benny is out of his mind.
Oh, come on, Eddie. It's not about the muscles. It's about the hips.
You know what? What do you? Yeah, that's right. You tell Eddie that too. What do you think
just
Eddie's
did.
hitting from 178 here? You know what I?
His 7 wood.
No, you know what I think Eddie is hitting from 178?
5 wood.
Nope, probably a 9-iron because he's kicked the ball 16 times towards the green from the rough.
Okay. Now you're just slandering Eddie. And he'll text in to defend himself, and you probably won't read those messages. I know how you operate, Kev, but hey, it's your show. You can do with it as you see fit. What would Eddie actually hit? I could see Eddie hitting a 6.
Yeah.
I think he'd be comfortable with that.
178 to if that's I'd be hitting a 6 probably.
I think I probably would do. Depending on, conditions obviously matter, but If I wasn't hitting, I'd be closer to hitting a 5 than I would a 7. I'll tell you that much.
How about this? Hey, Bruce Hardy just texted me from the Glendale.
Oh, Andrew Walker's best friend.
Yeah, but these guys have to go back to the pro shop after the first tee and buy a dozen more balls. So that's what happened when I was at the Glendale and Bruce, and I was playing on the back tees, and I put about 3 in the water at the Glendale there.
Oh, well, Kevin, you act like as if I know what you're talking about, like I've played there before. We're talking about the Glendale.
Yeah, and anyway,
I've yet to be extended the courtesy from our friend David Schlenko.
Bruce Hardy gave me a sleeve of balls to start. Just there, those guys. Well, they get those balls. I mean, balls are nothing to them. They're like chewing gum. Anyway, then he went back after he saw a couple of swings, and he brought 6 more out.
Oh my God.
Oh man. King of Fort Nasty says someone needs to loosen Fenny's bag strap. Show off. My buddy Sean from the ranch. Hey, Henry. He calls me Henry. You probably should hit a 6 iron. No, you probably hit a 6 iron, but you should be hitting a 5 from 178. Getting old. Dave at Whitetail says, what would Eddie be hitting? And what do you think is it 6?
I think he did a 6. Yeah. Him and I actually, if my memory is sort of correct, we hit a lot of pretty similar distances with a lot of our clubs. So that's what I would think to hit it at 180. So
here's the best text so far. Matt and Leduc goes, Josh is a Flames fan. I speak from experience. We're all decent golfers.
A lot of practice, lots of time, not a lot of obligations come May and June.
Hey, you know what? Very fair. My dad was a decent golfer back in the day.
Some great golf going on at round 1 of the Masters again. Patrick Reed just parred the 3rd hole, the par 4 third. So he still is the early leader, but nothing green on the board at all after he birdied the 1st hole, eagled the 2nd hole, and now pars the 3rd. So he is at 3 under par. Jose Maria Olazabal, Kurt Kitayama, Tommy Fleetwood, all at 2 under par and looking pretty good. The only player that's in red that's on the back 9 already is Max Homa. And he's on 11 right now. He's at 1 under par. Fairly consistent round. He's put up 1 birdie to go along with 9 pars. So we'll keep updating you the leaderboard at the Masters. A lot of the leaders, or not the leaders, the favorites have teed off. So we'll get to some of those scores as well as we continue on. But we're going to talk a little basketball, in particular Toronto Raptors with Matt Devlin, the Raptors play-by-play man, right after the break. Josh, have you got a question ready for Matt? Would this be something that you might be interested in?
Yeah, I can get a question ready for Matt. No, Matt. And even a follow-up.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe we'll incorporate you into this. This would be one of the highlights. I mean, have you ever spoken to Matt before?
No.
There you go. This could be a highlight of your career so far.
Thank you.
Besides that 8 iron from 190 out.
What? You liar.
Well, Josh, listen, if you can hit it 180, just lean it into a little bit more. Right. You can hit it 190, no problem. That's how golf works. Right?
I'm not going to sit here and pump up my golf game.
Put that 8 iron
so that
now,
the first time the 3 of us go golfing together, I shank it and it just goes, 15 yards forward, which is going to happen. Like, let's be real here. This is now what's going to happen.
You are going to fold like a cheap tent here, man.
But probably. I'm going to fold faster than Superman on laundry day.
Yeah. Before that, time now for a Sports 1440 update brought to you by All-Star Construction. They shape and build Edmonton communities, specializing in underground utilities like power, gas, telecommunications, and street lighting. That's All-Star Construction. Here is the Duke.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Edmonton Oilers victorious last night in San Jose to snap their 2-game losing skid. 5-2 the final over the Sharks. Connor McDavid with 5 points and a hat trick en route to victory. Connor Ingram and Jason Dickinson both leaving the game and did not return due to injury. Elsewhere around the NHL, Sabres beat the Rangers 5-3 at MSG, and the Capitals blanked the Maple Leafs 4-0. Ron Francis stepping down as president of hockey operations for the Seattle Kraken at season's end, the team announced last night. Francis has been with the team since its inaugural season, first as GM, starting in 2022, taking over as president of hockey ops last April. In the PWHL last night, just one game. Seattle beating Ottawa 5-3. And in the BCHL playoff picture, Spruce Grove Saints season coming to an end after losing to Brooks 9-3. That finishes off the sweep of Spruce Grove. Sherwood Park Crusaders open up a 3-1 series lead with a 5-2 win over Blackfalds. In the association, 7 games total last night, including the OKC Thunder locking up the number 1 seed in the association with a 128-110 win over the Lakers. And Canadian Jamal Murray, he had 26 points as Denver topped Memphis 136-119. The Blue Jays snapped their skid and pick up a win over the Dodgers 4-3 the final from Toronto. Dylan Cease struck out 8 over 5 innings, but it was Tyler Rogers picking up the win in relief. Elsewhere around the majors yesterday, Boston blanked Milwaukee 5-0. Seattle blanked by Texas 3-0, and the New York Yankees get beat by the Athletics 3-2. From the Masters right now, Patrick Reed atop the leaderboard as he is 3 under through 3. High Canadian at the moment. Still Nick Taylor as he's 1 under playing the 6th hole. Coming up in hour 3 of the Kevin Karius Show, we'll be joined by Toronto Raptors play-by-play man Matt Devlin, and we'll check in with a new edition of In or Out. I'm Brandon Douglas, Sector Sports 1440 Update.
This is Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
At GS Construction, we're multitaskers. We've got lots of projects going on all around Edmonton and area. Different teams across the city working towards the same outcome. Installing today what will serve generations to come. It's a rewarding career and the work never stops. That's why GS Construction is always on the lookout for great people to join us. Right now, we're looking for experienced topmen, pipe layers, operators, and surveyors. So if you want to feel valued, empowered, and engaged in your work, visit gsconstruction.ca today.
Do you listen to sports radio at work? Like right now? Well, do you?
Who, me? No way. I swear.
Okay, friend, we won't tell. Tens of thousands of sports fans listen to Sports 1440 each and every day. On the radio, on the listening apps, on YouTube, and on social media. If you listen to Sports 1440 at work, well, maybe it's time to advertise on Sports 1440 at work. Grow your business. Get your name out there. Shoot our ad team an email. Gregor@sports1440.ca. Let's get to work for you.
With the lead up to the playoffs underway, players are definitely stepping up their game.
And the fans are doing the same. Simple snacks like chips and dip may work at the front half of the season, but now more and more fans are rocking the Wilhauk beef jerky for game time get-togethers.
Just make sure you bring enough for everyone if you want to be invited back for the playoffs.
Make your next hockey game day a Will Hockey game day with Wilhauk beef jerky, only available in Leduc. Get yours today because you don't win games with salad.
Got a car you're ready to part with? Find out what it's worth, fast, easy, and totally free at Go Auto. We're talking top dollar trade-ins, whether it's a little worn or still rocking that new car smell. Just a few clicks, and boom, you've got your value. Text VALUE to 780-777-7777 to start. That's VALUE to 780 all sevens. Why, guess what it's worth? Let Go Auto show you the money.
It's time to hit the green. Elevate your golf game with Country Club Tour Golf Academy. No matter your experience, our PGA of Canada teaching pros are here to help. Enjoy lessons year-round between our 7 CCT golf courses and 2 state-of-the-art indoor facilities. Choose the location convenient for you. We offer private lessons, group lessons, expert club fittings, and junior camps. Visit our website to learn more and get ready to take your game to the next level. Booking is easy. Go to countryclubtour.com/golf academy and schedule your lesson today.
Kevin Karius Show, breaking down Edmonton's favorite teams, even though his favorite Junior A hockey team is the Yorkton Terriers. Thanks for checking in with Sports 1440.
Back to the big program, 9:02 in Edmonton, and time now for the game of the day, brought to you by St. Albert Dodge, where the 2026 Ram 2500 Black Express packages have arrived. It includes a 20-inch black aluminum wheel package, the black Mopar side steps, body color, bumpers, and grille, and a sport performance hood. See them at stalbertdodge.com as we welcome back Matt Devlin, Toronto Raptors play-by-play man to the show. Good morning, Matt. You're with Kevin Karius once again. As always, thanks for jumping on Sports 1440. Really appreciate it.
My pleasure, Kevin. How you doing?
Doing great here. Weather stinks. We can't get on the golf course for probably another 3 weeks, but we got the Masters to watch, so we're enjoying that, Matt. But you're so damn busy with basketball, you don't get to watch a little golf, do you?
Well, every now and again, I will tune in. There's, with the Masters Week, it's a tradition like no other, right? So you gotta always have one eye on it.
You're taking a page out of your colleague Jim Nance's book there.
That's right. It's always fun. It's always fun to get into my golf voice.
Yeah, for sure. I can tell it's a little lower, Matt. It's a little lower.
Yeah.
Hey, so you've got another game tonight with Miami to call. Do you like these back-to-backs to call, just personally?
From a preparation standpoint, obviously it cuts down on some of the work, but that Miami tonight's going to make adjustments. They're 0-3 against the Toronto Raptors. I'm not a huge fan of them because they're random in the sense that there are years in which you could get a opponent like Washington 2 games in a row, and there are years that you could get Boston 2 games in a row, and those are very different from a scheduling standpoint. And the schedule has changed a lot because of the NBA Cup, so this is just an overarching theme. There were times throughout the NBA season in years past where, let's say you play the Lakers twice, you'd see them once early, and then you'd see them once in the back half of the year. And so if a player wasn't playing in that first game, you'd see him in the second. And the Raptors were done with Atlanta early in the season, done with Philly early in the season. And I like those games spread out a little bit more, only because, as we know, last year, 11 players played all 82 games. And a team that you saw early, for instance, for the Raptors, Cleveland, you're 3-0 against Cleveland, but you haven't seen the new version of the Cleveland Cavaliers, right? So that would be my only thing. If there's a player with a significant injury and you're playing these 2 home and homes, from a fan base standpoint, you may not be able to see that player. But that would be my only hold up with it, but it's not going to change because they're looking at it from a travel perspective.
Raptors play-by-play man Matt Devlin with us on the Kevin Karius Show here on Sports 1440 AM radio. What was your takeaway or takeaways from Tuesday night's 121-95 win over Miami, where it was so important to see the Raptors get above that 6-pack cut line, Matt?
Yeah, so the first thing, they played with a sense of urgency. They played as if that 6th spot and now potentially the 5th spot is on the line. And Miami didn't. And that's fascinating. They're locked into the play-in right now. They've been inconsistent. They've dropped, after their 7-game winning streak, they've dropped 9 of their last 12. And for the Raptors, there's been some level of inconsistency since the All-Star break. But what they did defensively is what you want to see. And the Raptors have held Miami in all 3 games under 100. This is the second highest scoring team in the NBA that averages better than 120. They've been held under 100 only 6 times. So everything that they got on Tuesday night was because they were dominant defensively, and then they pounded the paint. And they ended up with 70 points in the paint. Miami held a team meeting after the game. It's the Miami Heat. It's Pat Riley. It's Eric Spoelstra. You would expect a response. But I had this group, the Miami Heat, in the playoffs last year against Cleveland after they worked their way through the play-in, and they got swept 4-0, and it wasn't even a match, right? Cleveland just, went right through them. So Eric Spoelstra changed his offense, did a lot of different things, hoping that they would get a different result this year, and they haven't. But I think tonight the playoff intensity from both sides is what we thought on Tuesday. It was there on one side. After a player meeting and a team meeting, I would think that you're going to see tonight more of a playoff intensity type of game.
Matt Devlin with us on Sports 1440. I don't know if you're big on identity, Matt, when a roster or a team is coming together. Do you believe that that's the case with this basketball team, that they're developing that? And if you can maybe explain what you think it is.
I'm a big believer in identity, specifically during the regular season. I think, as we know, with all championship level teams, and whether that's in hockey, whether that's in football, whether that's in baseball, when you get to the postseason, depending upon who you're matched up against, you may have to play another style. You have to have a different approach because the other team is geared up to take away what you do best, right? It's why in hockey we always see, third and fourth liners, right, emerge in the postseason during the Cup final because, everybody's geared up for, the other, superstar, right? And they always say, stars cancel each other out. And that is the case in a lot of sports, right? In the NBA as well, where you need your stars to be stars, but who else can provide a lift? And so for the Raptors, their identity is from a defensive-minded approach. Darko Rajakovic talks about it all the time, the standard in which he expects them to play defensively, which is an immense amount of pressure on the ball. That doesn't mean that you're picking up full court, but once they get to half court, you are into the players that have the ball. And then you want to create turnovers. Raptors are, best in the league in fast break points. They're among the best in the league in points off of turnovers. That's their game. That's what fuels their offense. So secondary to that, and what has been something that the Raptors have looked at and have adjusted to, when teams take away the ability for them to run, what can you get in your secondary offense? And so that's one of the reasons why they've, against some elite teams, when teams say, okay, we have to get back in transition on defense, we have to eliminate, the Raptors run game. When you get them in the half court, what can they do? And there's been some bright spots, but then there's also been situations where they haven't been able to provide an offensive lift in that half court. So the identity is there. It is defense. There's no question about it, but it's defense creating offensive opportunities.
I kind of want to stay on that subject a bit with Matt Devlin, Raptors play-by-play man, and maybe that identity will continue to be developed with a couple of young players that I want to discuss in Jacoby Walter and Colin Murray Boyle. So the last two number one first round draft picks by the team. Let's start with Jacoby Walter, the first rounder in 24. What have you seen from Walter in his development and how he's going to be key and instrumental part of this team moving forward?
Well, number one, Jacoby's first couple of seasons has dealt with some injuries, which has gotten him off a little bit to a slow start. But I credit Jacoby in a couple of different things. Number one, he knew in order to get on the floor, he had to guard, right? Coaches look for, and with the Raptors, hey, can you guard? And he does an exceptional job defensively. He's guarded Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. He's guarded other team stars and has done a remarkable job given the fact that he's only a second-year player. And then through that time, he has started, his offense has really started to come around. And since the All-Star break, he's north of 45% from three, which the Raptors desperately need, right? Because that spacing is so important when you have Jakob Poeltl, Scotty Barnes, and Brandon Ingram on the floor, because it creates opportunities for them in the paint. And so his ability to understand this is how I'm getting on the floor, and it's going to be defense first. And then because your defense has been so good, we're going to give you more time on the court. And with that, his offense now has grown. And he's really taken a major step. And he's going to be a 3-and-D guy in this league if he continues to build on this, because all the signs are there. And when you look at his season numbers now from three-point range, he's a 40% three-point shooter. And because of how he's guarding, he was getting 20 minutes a night. And now with the way he's playing offense, he's getting 25 plus minutes a night. Right. So I'm really pleased with him on so many levels. Like he's really taken a major step, and he's a really good player. And he's only 21 years old. Yeah. Colin Murray Boyles is 20, and he is a force. Credit Bobby Webster and the scouting department to get a player of his caliber, 9th in the draft overall, that has stepped in. And he does so many little things, and a lot of it is defensively. He can guard, like Scotty Barnes, multiple positions. He can guard 1 through 5. And even at his size, at 6'7", he can guard a big. He can guard guards on the perimeter. And so the combination of that, I think the ceiling is really high with him. He's, and in fact, with him on the court, with Scotty Barnes, Jacoby, that trio, watch out. Like they defensively are very productive.
Matt Devlin with us, Toronto Raptors play-by-play man on the Kevin Karius Show here in Sports 1440. Not sure if you're aware, Matt, but we have the longest running basketball show in Canada on our station called Hoop City with Paul Sir. It's produced and sometimes interim hosted by one of the greatest young basketball minds in the history of the game, Josh Fenwick, who's in studio with us here, and he's got a couple questions that he wants to ask you. And he said this is going to be the biggest thrill of his young broadcasting career to talk to the great Matt Devlin, the Raptors play-by-play man.
Well, I would say this. Hopefully, there's going to be a lot better for him in the future.
Yeah, well, here's hoping, Matt. I appreciate it. I do want to touch a little more on Colin Murray Boyles, just and his evolution through the season. I mean, mostly on the defensive end of the ball and how that's affecting his offensive game. Because even we saw against Memphis, he had 20 points in an absolute blowout. But just through the season, how his defensive game has evolved and affected what he can do on the offensive side of the ball.
Well, number one, Josh, his first preseason game ever, he came in and guarded Jokic. And I know it's preseason, but you're guarding a multi-time MVP player, and he'll take in any matchup. He doesn't, from the standpoint of, I'm guarding this player, he has that ability and the mentality. And that's what defense is, the mentality. And then, do you have the ability to guard multiple? And he does. He's physically strong enough to guard bigs, and then he's also athletic enough to guard perimeter players as well. And he understands where he needs to be on the court. That continues to grow, right, in different rotations. But as far as that leading into his offense, he can run the floor. He's not a three-point shooter, at least he wasn't at South Carolina. And now they're working that aspect of his game in. They've adjusted where he is on the court a lot of the time. now in comparison to earlier in the season where he was more perimeter based. Now he's more in the dunker spot and a little bit closer to the bucket. So offensive rebounds and then that ability, to get a second chance opportunity. He has also the ability to have multiple bounces, right? It's not just that first bounce. Do you have that secondary bounce? So if you go up for the rebound and it's tapped up, can you spring back up? And he has that. So his game continues as, a 20-year-old you would expect to come into form and round out, but there's a high ceiling there. But what he does right now, you'll have a long NBA career and a successful one. And I'm excited for him because he's just going to keep adding to his package that he has to ultimately get to where I believe he can get to. So he's a fearless competitor. He's a fearless competitor. And, that's huge as well.
No, yeah, absolutely. I've really loved what I've seen from him on the floor this season. It's been a lot of fun to watch. Now, it does sound like a lot of what you're describing is like what we know Scotty Barnes to be now and what he was when he was coming into the league. And we know that they've shared the court quite a bit this season, and they've been some of the best defensive pairings that the NBA's seen this season. Do you see a world where they can coexist on the court together? Because, I mean, when we talk about Scotty, he's a good playmaker, good defender. He can finish at the rim, but he's pretty weak from the outside. And same with Colin Murray-Boyles. But the trade-off is you do get that elite defense, and the Raptors have been so poor from the three-point line. Can you see a world where these two can share the floor together for consistent heavy minutes?
Absolutely, especially when the focus is defense. We talked earlier about the identity of this team, and the group of Quickly, B.I., RJ, Scotty, and Colin Murray-Boyles are the fourth best half-court D lineup in the NBA. And, why is that? Well, your ability to switch, right, and guard multiple. And so if you have that capacity to do that, watch out. And when he does add that ability to step outside, and he's shooting 34% from three right now, but is he a player that could shoot 37% from three? For sure. And then that creates that spacing that you alluded to earlier. That's, from a 3-point standpoint, the Raptors are shooting it better since the All-Star break, due in large part to Jacoby Walter. And spacing is so key in today's NBA. Not that you need a volume. Some teams love volumes of threes. Boston last year took over 50% of their shots from three. They ended up losing to New York in the second round. Obviously, Tatum was lost in that series, but they stuck to the script even when they were up 20 and they started missing them. And this year, they're getting their threes differently, and they're taking roughly 6% less of their shots from three, and they're adding in other avenues. And, that's important, right? Can you play multiple styles if one thing isn't working? And so anyway, with the growth of Colin Murray-Boyles, can I see both of them on the court? Absolutely, because defensively, what does that lineup create? The ability to switch, the ability to get on the glass, even with that lack of size, because typically you're going to be going up another smaller lineup. And then offensively, the ability to get out and run. And as we all know, RJ Barrett, who's a part of that group, is just dynamic when it comes to scoring in the paint.
Matt, thanks so much for your time. Really appreciate it. Have a great call tonight. Enjoy the stretch run and then the playoffs. Hopefully we talk soon. But as always, thanks for your time. Really appreciate it.
You got it. You guys have a great day. Always a pleasure to join you.
All right. That's Matt Devlin, Toronto Raptors play-by-play man. They are home to the Miami Heat tonight. Defeated Miami 121-95 on Tuesday, and that's the game of the day. Brought to you by St. Albert Dodge. And again, the 2,500 Black Express packages have arrived. And man, when you look at those 20-inch black aluminum wheels, are so cool. Check it out at stalbertdodge.com. Text 833-401-1440. MTR says, great questions and delivery by Josh. I was hoping he would yak all over himself and we could all make fun of him for the next week, but sometimes you got to tip your hat. Attaboy, Josh. Were you a little nervous there or not? You're okay?
I mean, maybe you sort of snaked my question from me when you brought up Jacoby Walters and then mentioned Colin Murray-Boyles. I was like, oh no, like he's going to take this.
Wow.
And then you didn't end up having to ask a question about Colin Murray-Boyles because he sort of touched on him. So I was able to.
That's what an interview is all about. You got to pivot.
Hey,
So,
I know.
And a lot of things.
But I was looking to the pivot. It was pretty late into the interview.
Come on now.
But then,
There's lots to talk about.
I was able to work in Scotty Barnes because that is me as a Raptors fan. That is a concern I have about the two of them sharing the floor together with such a poor three-point shooting team.
I don't know what they taught you at school. What's the number one, the most important part of
listening?
Interviewing. It's listening.
Yeah.
Listening to who you're talking to, because most of the time, your next question, not most, some part, your next question is going to be what or some part of the answer that the person you're interviewing just delivered.
Yeah.
So,
hey, learned a lot in those 2 weeks where I was hosting Hoop City.
There you go. See? Look out, Paul. He's coming after your job.
That is not true.
When we come back, we'll get to some of your texts, 833-401-1440. It's the Kevin Karius Show with the Duke of Delburne and Josh Fenwick here on Sports 1440 AM radio. We are streaming on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch. Looking for a solid 4x4 that checks all the boxes? The 2026 Jeep Compass is in stock now at St. Albert Dodge, and this is a great value, starting from just $36,900. It's a Jeep, so you've got 4x4 capability, plus features like an 8.4-inch touchscreen, Apple CarPlay, active lane management, a park view rear backup camera, and more. Over 30 in stock right now in just about every color you'd want. Head up the trail and see how easy it is to do business at St. Albert Dodge.
At Fountain Tire, the savings come in threes. Up to 25% off select tires, a mail-in rebate of up to $100 off a set of 4 select tires, and $50 off $150 service. We're basically the BLT of savings. Until April 25th. Restrictions apply. Book today.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is the #1 heating and cooling company for people who want heating and cooling, because you'll save a bundle by bundling. Then you can use hot, cold, hot, cold. Come on, thermostat, do what you're told. Turn up the heat, turn up the cold, to the vents start pushing out tornadoes. Bundle my furnace with some AC. Gonna get a deal from Legacy! Oh, yeah. Save a bundle when you bundle your new furnace and AC from Legacy today. Plus no payments and no interest for 1 year. That's how you build your legacy. Legacy Heating and Cooling.
It's Andrew Walker, host of the postgame show on Sports 1440. After every hockey game this season, tune in and chime in as we talk about the game. It's all sponsored by Legacy Heating and Cooling. Don't get left in the cold. Visit legacyheating.ca.
River Cree is the place for all your favorite sports. River Cree Resort and Casino, featuring UFC action and boxing live on the big screens at Tap 25, the MVP of sports bars, and in the center bar. Plus, catch all the biggest games, every goal, every slam dunk. River Cree is also home to the Twin Rinks, where rec hockey and community teams come to play. Public skating available. Details at rivercreeresort.com.
River Cree Resort and Casino. Excitement. Bet on it.
It's happened again, and construction season is coming soon. Job delayed, money lost, and clients disappointed because your rigging failed and it wasn't inspected. Don't let this happen to you. Have your lifting slings, fittings, hoisting tools, and safety harnesses checked with Titan Supply. Titan Supply offers certified on-site and in-house rigging inspections and service, so they can repair it, replace it, and recertify it. Titan Supply in Edmonton, Grand Prairie, Red Deer, and Calgary, and at titansupply.ca. Lift, dig, haul.
Fast track your financial goals with a special rate term deposit from Vision Credit Union. For a limited time, take advantage of a great rate on 1, 3, or 5-year terms. Plus, as a Vision Credit Union member, you can earn up to 25% more on your interest through profit shares. For details, contact your branch today or visit visioncu.ca. That's visioncu.ca.
Tough loss tonight, Coach. What happened out there?
Well, we played like our goaltending was, and our defense was an absolute disaster. Okay, no more questions.
Somebody needs a filter. Good filtration makes a big difference. Napa Auto Parts annual spring filter event sale is on from April 7th to April 13th. Save on cabin, air, and oil filters to keep your vehicle running clean. Visit your participating Napa store today or shop online at napacanada.com. That's Napa know-how.
You're listening to Sports 1440 and watch us on YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Sports 24/7. We are Sports 1440.
All right, welcome back to the big program. 9:29 in Edmonton. We'll have a quick little segment here before you go in or out with the Duke of Delburne here. Just to update you on the Masters leaderboard, nothing really. Oh, yes, Kurt Kitayama just birdies the 9th hole to go to 3 under par to join Patrick Reed and Tommy Fleetwood at 3 under par. So it was Reed and Fleetwood at 3 under. So we talked about Patrick Reed coming under the gates hot. Birdies the first hole, then Eagles the second hole. So, Duke, how many times do you think in Masters history, has a golfer started the tournament birdie eagle in the first round? Take a guess. How many times in Masters?
In the first round.
In the first round, yeah. In Masters history.
8.
You're under.
Oh, okay.
You're over, pardon me. It's,
Oh.
The answer's under. You're over. It is only
Really?
6. He's the 6th player in Masters history to start off birdie eagle in the first round. One of the players, 2. Sam Burns did it, and so did Sam Bennett.
The amateur.
Yes.
Was that last year or 2 years ago that he was?
3 years ago, both of them
wow,
in
already.
2023. The other 3 golfers, John Schroeder, don't know much about him. Jay Haas did it back in 1983. And then Lou Warsham in 1954. As Johnny Carson would say, Duke, I did not know that.
I did not know that.
Text 833-401-1440. Tiger texts in, hey, Kevin, I'm running late on YouTube. Why did they call you Henry? Well, that is what Sean Piercy at the ranch calls me. Don't know why. Henry. It's one of the things. I call him Bozo, so same thing. Husks texted in. KK, I'm surprised that Josh didn't ask why Luca's so good. Well done, JF from Husks. Framer Johnny says, how about Grady Dock? Is he a forgotten man? Oh, I guess Grady Dock is a forgotten man. 833-401-1440. We're going to talk a whole lot of golf, and we're going to talk hockey with Stephen Ellis from the DFO. Once again, the Oilers with the day off today, so they can recharge here. We've had several questions coming in about Jason Dickinson. Took the shot off the leg from Evan Bouchard in the third period. And that was they whistled the play down quite early. You know, sometimes if you take a shot, you can hobble around, but they whistled that one down quite early. He was helped off. He needed help. The good thing is that it's a couple of days off. Who knows? And hopefully he's not out for any games here, because this is a guy that they need. Since the trade deadline, he's come in here and he has been a really good acquisition to calm things down. Same thing, a lot of text regarding Connor Ingram. So he left after the second period last night. apparently came to the bench around the last TV timeout, so under 6 minutes left, discussed something with the bench and the training staff, TD Force. Then they said, well, he said, okay, I'm okay to go. Then I guess there would have been a reevaluation after the second period in the intermission. And at that point, Chris Knobloch said post-game, they made the decision to go with Tristan Jarry for the final 20 minutes. And boy, those guys played hard. The Oilers played so hard in front of them. As we said, there were 4 shots that Jarry faced. Duke and I were saying, I don't remember one of them. And they only had, I think they had 1 shot in the first, 10 minutes or something like that. So it wasn't a whole lot of pressure. Anyway, a lot of text coming in regarding an update, any update. There's nothing, and nothing today will be updated. The Oilers will skate tomorrow, and they'll probably have a pretty decent practice tomorrow in LA, and they will have a no morning skate on Saturday because of the afternoon contest, afternoon time. So they will have some sort of an update, I would imagine, tomorrow because they'll have the lineup set for the practice tomorrow in LA. Text 833-401-1440. Hey, Duke, anything with that game that we didn't discuss that maybe we might have missed at the first spec segment? I mean, we discussed how physical they were.
Yeah.
With 33 hits, and, we mentioned how Doc and Frederick were. So,
yeah. The physicality of the bottom 6 continues to stand out to me for sure, and I think it's going to. And the way Josh Szymanski stepped in, I thought he was excellent last night after taking a sidecar seat with Doc's return to the lineup. But I don't know if it's always a tough situation when you're talking about who is going to be sitting when everyone's healthy on this roster, because as much as we've critiqued the team and say what are they going to do in this situation, or who are they identity wise, whatever, the bottom 6 has largely remained consistent here for the last little bit from what they bring to the game standpoint. And you talk about Frederick back from injury, Doc back from injury. I've loved Curtis Lazar's game essentially all season long as a 4th line player, but he's the victim last night. So these are good problems for Edmonton to have in what is, all but a certain first round playoff berth. And somebody is going to have to be watched from the press box, or more likely a couple people, if everyone is in fact healthy. Those are good problems to have, but also opens up. It's easy to ice your roster every night when you don't have anybody pushing for more spots. And that can be good for a coach because he doesn't have to make the tough decisions, but also doesn't leave you as many options. So that's, I think, almost going to become one of the tougher things for Chris Knobloch to maneuver here down the stretch. Once again, with the caveat that more guys aren't all of a sudden sidelined, most notably now Jason Dickens.
Well, the whole thing now is the depth is really, really showing with Connor McDavid coming to the forefront when he's saying, I'm putting the team on my back last night with obviously Leon Draisaitl and then Zach Hyman out. And Hyman's going to be back for the 2 home games here. But if Dickinson can't go, obviously Lazar draws back in. So how does the makeup look with Lazar coming in? Do you do things and shuffle it up and move Ryan Nugent-Hopkins maybe back to a center ice position and then shuffle things around? But one thing, I think you got to keep Doc and Frederick together the way they are creating and creating so much havoc. I mean, Roslovic in a pinch here can go to center ice too. Szymanski, that shift that he had in the second period, and you mentioned him, kudos to him for after being a scratch following a -3 game, because he was -3 prior game. Kudos to him. He had that shift in the second period where he came back hard on the play and he made a really good defensive play. Could have probably taken or drawn a penalty. Could have drawn a penalty because he had no stick. And then he's on all fours and he gets it the hell out of
the sprawling sweep shot looks like my buddy Braden Zemlak at the Delburne All-Nighter coming out of the hack, fully splayed out, deer on ice, and delivering it. And it's that is the type of play, Kevin, that I think as people who watch the team, whether you're a fan or someone covering it like yourself, you look at it and say, there are some things that are nothing more than effort. And when you talk about playing defense and you talk about what it takes when the games seem to matter the most, skilled players are going to be skilled players, and the Oilers have plenty of that for sure. But plays like that really earns the respect, I think, of your teammates. And Szymanski's done a really good job, I think, of earning the trust of his coaching staff in his very young NHL career. If he hadn't, he wouldn't be here We know there's maybe more skill players at this stage still plying their trade down on the farm while he's earned a lot of NHL games. So all the credit to him. It's going to be tougher and tougher. I still think playoffs started today. He's probably my odd man out in this lineup.
With healthy lineup.
With a healthy lineup, right? But each game that if he can deliver results like he did last night, he makes that decision tougher and tougher as we approach the first round.
And you know what I look at, if Dickinson can't go Saturday in Los Angeles, so you're leaving McDavid, Podkolzin, and Savoy together. Okay, so that's a given. If Dickinson comes out, you know, I would probably drop Szymanski down to 3C between Doc and Frederick and move Kasperi Kapanen up on the second line with Nugent Hopkins and Roslovic. And then on the fourth line, you would have Jones, Henrique, and Curtis Lazar dropping back in. So that's kind of how I would see it. But everyone kind of waiting with Jason Dickinson. That was just so weird. Like, I mean, he went down like crazy. And most of these guys, when you take a shot, I mean, yeah, you know, it stings like hell. But that's got to catch you in the back of the leg somewhere where there's absolutely no padding, nothing. But he was helped off. And then once he got off the ice, I remember, I saw Sevy, our good buddy Sevy, Stephen Lyons, the Oilers massage therapist. He's, basically carrying him off, and one of the two guys on either side. So we'll see. There will be an update sometime tomorrow when the Oilers have a skate in Los Angeles ahead of Saturday's game. Text 833-401-1440. Again, just to update the Masters leaderboard, we got a 3-way tie at the top of the leaderboard. Kurt Kitayama at 3 under. He's just starting the back 9. He's on 10. Patrick Reed is on the 7th hole. He's at 3 under par. Tommy Fleetwood also on that 7th hole. He is at 3 under par as well. You got to talk about Jose Maria Olazabal here, man. He came out with a par, and then he birdied 2, birdied 3, and he's parred the rest of the holes, and he's playing 13. And right now, that's where you can make a little bit of gravy, 13 and 15 with those par 5s. He got through Amen Corner here. He's just finishing Amen Corner. So he's still a guy like Jose Maria Olazabal, just ageless, timeless. He loves the course, knows every blade of grass on that course. When we come back, we're going to go in or out with the Duke of Delburne on the Kevin Carey Show with the Duke and Josh Fenwick on Sports 1440 AM radio. We're streaming on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. Would you like to be a part of history for the month of April? I'm kidding. Or as the kids say, bro, I'm joking. Would you like to help us set a record in April? Chill. Still kidding. At Northgate, we aren't trying to set any records or tell you how many vehicles we sell. And we really don't think you'd care. But what you will care about is this. Every dealer has the same costs. Trust me. GM does not have a favorite kid. You get to decide where you buy. 0% financing, a great selection, and of course, great people. Stop in and see us today. 13215 97th Street or business online at northgategm.com.
You're in Northgate country.
Booster Juice is going crazy for hazelnuts.
No, not crazy. Nuts.
Booster Juice is going bananas for hazelnuts.
I mean, there are bananas in smoothies, but that's not the point.
Banana juice is booster for hazelnuts.
What? Just stop.
Booster Juice is going nuts for hazelnut. Introducing the Nutty Monkey Smoothie, Holy Hazelnut Acai Bowl, and Nutty Booster Ball, all made with rich, creamy hazelnut spread. Try them today, only at Booster Juice. Canadian born, blending since 1999.
Come for Canada's largest trade shows, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. And stay for the experience at the Edmonton Expo Centre. Looking for the perfect place to host your next big event? From trade shows to galas, meetings, and concerts, the Edmonton Expo Centre has the space, event expertise, and service to make your next event unforgettable. With over 522,000 square feet of flexible event space, in-house catering, and operational expertise, they bring your biggest vision to life. Learn more at EdmontonExpoCenter.com today.
Mr. Rooter sees a UFO.
Mr. Rooter says 1 plunge, 2. What's this? A UFO? An unidentified floating object. It's beginning to glow and levitate.
Thank you, Mr. Rooter. You have freed us from the gravity of the white hole. Humanity will be spared.
Wow! People aren't going to believe this when I put it in our new commercial.
If you want to believe in a plumber, call Mr. Rooter.
The longest running basketball show in Canada airs every Saturday morning at 10 on Sports 1440. Hoop City with Paul Sir introduces a new generation of basketball talk, and it's right here on Edmonton's home for sports, Sports 1440.
Hey, Gary, is that your dad?
No, this is Evan, the new sales rep I hired.
Oh.
First impressions matter, but when hair loss takes over, it can feel like you're not being seen for the maverick you truly are. Hi, I'm Dr. Vance Elliott. At Advanced Hair and Skin Surgery, we know that hair loss is more than just a cosmetic issue. It's personal. Let's discuss all the cutting-edge options available so you can make a great impression every time.
Book a free consultation today at drvanceelliott.com.
Why should you drive a Subaru? How about durability, style, and an excellent customer experience from the moment you step into the showroom? And how about accolades, including awards for numerous 2026 Subaru models from both AutoTrader and JD Power? But don't just take my word for it. Take a test drive and you'll see why the Subaru name is recognized and renowned for quality. To learn more, visit Subaru.ca. Welcome to Uncommon. Welcome to Subaru.
Have your sports curiosity cured with the Kevin Karius Show. This is Sports 1440.
Did a big program, 9:45 in Edmonton. Kevin Karius, Duke of Delburne, Josh Fenwick with you here in the Sports 1440 studios in West Edmonton Mall. And it's time now for In or Out, brought to you by Pro Solutions. If you need fast AC service, Pro Solutions offers expert repairs, tune-ups, and installs with flexible financing. Book your appointment right now at prosolutionsinc.ca.
Okay, you know what? Moving too fast. Bottom line, are you in or you out?
In or out of what?
No time for questions, just action. In or out?
Well, then I'm out.
I'm sorry, Jet. Actually, you're already in.
Are you in or are you out?
On Sports 1440.
I thought you would go, I'm in, Bob. We would have had a really cool moment, but you kind of ruined the whole thing.
All right, Duke, let her buck.
Edmonton Oilers victorious last night in decisive fashion, 5 to the final over the Sharks from San Jose. The power play been a topic of conversation recently in the absence of Leon Draisaitl and Zach Hyman, big-time power play contributors. And it goes 3 for 3 last night. But despite this, I don't actually view the performance as, let's call it a dam breaking, getting the glob out of the ketchup bottle type of a performance from the managed vantage unit.
Is that because you're saying that it was San Jose Duke? And
as Max Miller told us yesterday,
I was just going to say,
it's a get-right spot for a lot of opponents' power play.
I said, because, coming into this game, the power play was, it was weak at best, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, Duke. I mean, anytime you get 3 goals on the power play, I'm going to be the other way. I'm going to go out on this one because I'm going to say the fact that Connor McDavid brought it up almost immediately in his post-game media availability. So for him to recognize that, and again, you look at the goals and how they were scored, and I mean, the poke for Connor, and that was, you got big Vinny Desharnais right in front of Connor, and for Connor to reach past Vinny Desharnais and that reach and poke it across the goal line, oh, man. So I'm just going to say, and then the pass to Roslovic, amazing. That catches San Jose on a change, and that is awareness by Connor McDavid. Quickly, bang, 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 and it's a bad change by the Sharks.
I before the change, I thought, I can't remember who the forward was. I think maybe Gaudette or Wenberg. That they kind of have a 2-on-2 type opportunity, spins off and then just rolls it down, giving I just thought there was so many better things he could have done with the puck there than essentially give it right back to Connor McDavid while your other personnel are making changes, and then you head straight to the bench as well. So
the smart penalty kill play. If you're a good penalty kill, you drive into a bit to the left because you got room on the wall, and you eat it for
you wear it in the corner for
eat it for 10 seconds if you can.
At best, yeah.
And then your team regroups. And then at that point, no matter what, you can get off. You're going to come off and your team's going to go, great job. I'm going to hustle my ass because you just ate up 10, 15 seconds on the clock. So you know what? 3 power play goes. I don't care how they're going, Duke. The way this power play's been going, I'm going to say it was a dam breaking night. I'll say it was for 3. They've only done it 4 times this year.
And I actually kind of wrestled with this a little bit, Kevin, because if you look at how the goals were scored, I'm not sure any of them come across as a standard, call it Oilers power play goal, where, the backdoor tap in, the one time or a boosh bomb, anything like that. The Podkolzin one would be the closest, but it's still pretty ugly, right? That is a Zach Hyman type goal, and a little bit lucky as well with the way it somehow banged around and squirts through to Nelkovic, who once again I didn't think played it very well, but that's besides the point. Yeah. So what have you and I talked about this week about how to try and get this power play to the right? It's exactly what they did. It was getting pucks to the net. The play by McDavid, he's just putting the puck in there, hoping something good can happen. Of course, he's hoping for something a little better than the full extension, little poke just across the goal line, I'm sure. But they all count the same. So with that in mind, I can appreciate them going about it in different ways to try and get on the board with the man advantage. But it's not like they got set up in 10 seconds and cashed in a picture-perfect play. Maybe that will come back with ease once Draisaitl and Hyman return. I think a lot of people hope in the case. So, and then you factor that in with the Sharks' penalty kill being really abysmal as of late, as our friend Max Miller pointed out yesterday. So all those factors rolled in. We'll see what they have against the Kings come Saturday afternoon once they get the man advantage in that game.
Kings, I think, are 30th overall.
It's not good.
PK. So, I mean, maybe there's another opportunity to create some offense on Saturday afternoon.
They think the biggest concern, or one of the biggest concerns from last night, of course, Jason Dickinson, but also the goaltender Connor Ingram, who left the game after the second period, stayed in, was on the bench serving in the backup role, which would lead you to think he would be available if necessary, but his status maybe a little bit in doubt here. And I'm thinking if there is any doubt, I mean any doubt, in his health for the remaining regular season games, call Cal Pickard up from Bakersfield. It's going to be just down the road here in LA. And I'm actually thinking he should get the starts in the stead of Connor Ingram rather than rolling Tristan Jarry back out there.
So you're saying if Tristan Jarry can't go Saturday in LA.
Connor Ingram can't go Saturday.
If Connor Ingram can't go Saturday, in LA, Pickard should start that game.
Unless he's playing Friday night for the Condors, I don't know what their schedule is. Then
if there's any possibility he ain't playing Friday,
then yeah, I'm starting Cal Pickard on Saturday.
Oh man, this is a tough one because I said earlier, like after the Utah game, Duke,
yesterday morning we talked about it with Spec.
There's a damn good chance that Tristan Jarry could not see the cage anymore. I don't know, man. The way things have unfolded here, listen, I got more confidence in Cal Pickard right now than I have in Jarry. And that's sad to say because I was really hoping that Jarry would turn things around. He never had anything in the third period that led, like if he would have had to face something, if he would have had to make 2-3 really good saves. I really watched him more in the third, I wanted
his
to
movements and see how
everything.
He's tracking and
the economic part of his game in the crease, like the economical part of the game of his crease, of his style right now, it's not where it needs to be. Oh boy. I'm going to go in. Why not? I think it's crazy to say this, but at some point in the next 3-4 weeks, like Cal Pickard could play a big role in the success of this
and that
team.
is part of my reasoning here too, Kevin, is that come playoff time, we had the conversation with Spec. I think a lot of fans are mulling this over, and it's the salary cap implication. I'm not sure is going to be pertinent for the Oilers because they're largely compliant with the players they're going to have available. But the idea of dressing Cal Pickard as your backup instead of Tristan Jarry at this point, come a playoff series, is very much on the table in my eyes and in my opinion. So getting him games with this team again in some capacity in these final 3, that could be a big positive.
The thing to look at here, and go back 20 years, Duke, ago, UC Market and Ty Conklin. Okay. This is the same boat here. It's a similar situation. So in game number 1, when Dwayne Rollison goes down, so Ty Conklin comes in, and at that point, who was the better backup? Well, it was obviously UC Markkinen because he played the rest of the series. So you have to look at it like that. If something were to happen and your number 1 goalie goes down, which in this case is Connor Ingram, no question about it, is your next best available, Cal Pickard? I think almost every person would say yes.
Over to the Diamond. The Blue Jays snapped their skid with a win over the Dodgers yesterday. Comeback fashion, too. Huge, hopefully momentum shift for Toronto moving forward after their rough start. Credit to Dylan Cease with a good starting performance, getting through 5 innings, 8 Ks. And then the bullpen picking up the slack. Ty Rogers, I believe his first win as a member of the Blue Jays coming on in relief. Now, the Jays are 5-7. They will have a day off today before a weekend set at home against the Minnesota Twins. If I'm the Blue Jays right now, I think it would be preferable if your upcoming 9-game road trip started tomorrow, just one series ahead of schedule rather than another.
Oh, so like if Minnesota were on the road.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or I'm not saying it's because of opponent. I'm just saying
Just
with this
get
roster,
out on the road.
get out on the road for a quick little, I mean, it's not quick. It's 9 games, 3 series, but get out on the road and try and get some things gelling on that front for a team that's looked a little disjointed on several fronts here in the early going.
Where do they go after Milwaukee?
Arizona and then Anaheim, I believe.
So I'm going to go no because that's a long enough trip as it is.
Okay.
So, and then the key here is the day off today, and then the key is the day off on Monday. And it's pretty good because you play Sunday afternoon, and then you don't have a long flight to Milwaukee, which is great. A lot of these times, when you have a day off, you're traveling cross country and you're opening a set, say, on the West Coast against, an Angels team or Seattle, whatever you choose. No, I'll be out. I'll say this is fine. Have these 3 more games at home. Patrick Corbin's going to go tomorrow on the hill, so he'll be called up and he will go. Lauer will pitch, and then Scherzer will get hopefully, Scherzer will be able to go more than a couple innings on Sunday. And then the key, again, for me is the day off on Monday. So I'd be out. I'm going to say play these 3 more games at home. Try to, win 2 out of 3 against a Minnesota team that's hit and miss. They really gave it to the Tigers yesterday in the early going against Framber Valdez. But no, I'd be out and saying 3 more at home is just fine with me.
And in the case of Max Scherzer, if he's going to be coming in potentially limited, I hope they make that information available ahead of time before I put my bets in on the game this time around. Masters, it's underway from Georgia. Most of the field out there for their opening round now. Still several tee times, of course, to come throughout the rest of the afternoon. If Kevin Karius, you could duplicate, take your pick, I suppose. They are different words, but 1 hole from Augusta National to have at your personal disposal. Call it in your backyard, call it a 10-minute drive just outside the city where you have full access to it as often and as much as you want. I'm taking it. Number 12, the par 3 Golden Bell across the pond.
You know what's funny here, Duke? You could say 18 holes here.
Well, of course.
You could pick any one, and each one has a different perspective for each different eye of the golfer. And if you ask this question to 100 players that have played that course, you might get 90 different answers. I think a lot of them would say number 12, the par 3 and Golden Bell on Amen Corner. I'm going to be out for this one just because of personal experience. When we were there in 2005, and we were in the gallery on 16 on Rosebud to see the Tiger Woods shot go in. MTR, I'm not sure if you're aware of that, but Terry Evans and myself were there 21 years ago to see that great shot where the ball just fell into the hole. So the other thing to me too, Duke, how about the drinking game with you and your buddies so let's just say you're taking this and you're putting it in your backyard, or in your farm. You're taking this to Delburne and you're taking hole 16. Imagine the drinking games you guys could have on 16, where they skip the ball on the water, tap, and then onto the green.
I think like I said, there's a lot of fun elements, and this would probably be, if not the most popular, one of the most popular answers across all of the golfing spectrum, pros, amateurs, media folk, whatever, because you got the picturesque part of it with the bridge and the water. This is a hole where there's quite a good chance for an ace. You talk about the skipping note. You could have a lot of fun in a lot of different elements. And the distance, I think it's perfect. I'm not quite like Josh Fenwick, where I could be, hitting my 60-degree wedge here, 150 yards over the water, 155, perfect distance. I love that. My 8-iron in my hand. It's maybe my most controlled club. You can't paint it much better. And if I had to pick a second one, I think I might go the opposite direction and find a par 5 to have if I was going away from the par 3 notion. And I think I'd probably pick Firethorn, I think, number 15. 550 yards currently listed on the Masters site. That's a good one too.
A guy can change his mind here as well.
Sure.
So I might even say that too, because again, it's at your disposal. To the question, one hole at your disposal. So, I mean, you're only really hitting one club here. So as you say, take a par 5, you get to hit driver.
You get a few different things. You can try and get the hero second shot, or you lay up, right? The way it kind of pincers in up towards the approach shot. How about you? So you said your pick was 16. This is on the Masters website on their kind of course breakdown. This is a quote from Gay Brewer, the 1967 champion, Kevin. When a boy handed me a cup of water on the 16th tee, I could hardly hold it. I didn't know whether I was holding the putter or it was holding me.
Oh, I mean, it's true. And I think even Ben Crenshaw said a lot of times you look at the wind and you hit and hope. And a lot of those guys too, they would check the flag on 11. So
you got a little bit of idea when you come around.
No, it would be different. Ben Hogan used to say, so when he's on the tee box at 12, he'd look over at the green on 11 and he'd wait for that flag to either pick up or stop, because the wind is going to be different when your ball flight goes to 12.
Oh, okay. I see what you mean.
Yeah.
I got you.
But I you're right too. If you could take the par 5 13th or the par 5 15th, like you say, the Firethorn, 13 would be cool too, because that kind of, for you, Duke,
the left. Oh, yeah.
Lefty, because you could just send it over. Well, you would start it way right.
I'd be aiming over towards the right side where people play the safe shot, and I'd still be hugging those left trees if I'm lucky.
You might not have a shot.
Yeah, I might still end up in the creek all the same.
That's 70-yard cross fairway slice.
Yeah, sometimes I wonder, like, imagine how far I could hit my driver if I would just hit it straight. The yardage taken off with the side-to-side movement. But hey, that's the qualms of mini amateur and golfers out there.
Any hole here, man. Be awesome.
Take your pick. Your pick. Finally, this day, 2009, the sitcom Parks and Recreation debuting on NBC. An all-timer. One of the very best rewatchability of this is right up there with any sitcom, in my opinion. Mockumentary format, a lot of fun. Great collection of characters, but I think the best in the show is Adam Scott's portrayal of Ben Wyatt.
Again,
let me guess, Kevin, you've never seen this.
Never seen one episode.
What do you watch? You get up giddy to watch Landman, one of the worst TV shows that I've ever seen an episode of.
Landman,
and yet you've never seen The Office. You haven't seen Parks and Rec. A guy that loves Curb and Seinfeld and all these great sitcoms. You have a complete black spot on your vision profile of what makes a good TV show in the past 25 years.
So when did this come out in 09?
Debuted in 09.
Okay. I'll tell you one thing, Duke. From 03 to 2010, I didn't watch any TV at all when I was doing Oiler games because it was just too time consuming. Didn't watch one thing.
20-minute episodes.
Well, back then, Duke, I barely had a VCR.
You buy them on DVD. You get the whole season.
Nah, whatever. So I never got into it. I do know that the one woman in it is the one from SNL, the blonde-haired woman.
Yeah, Amy Poehler. I think she's great.
So I would take her because I like her acting.
Okay.
I like her, and what's the Downer, Debbie Downer from Saturday Night
Live?
Oh,
yeah.
When they zoom into her and she makes that frown all the time. So I would go with Amy Poehler over Adam Scott's Ben Wyatt.
Do you know Adam Scott?
Not a clue.
Have you watched? You're a big Apple TV guy. You watch Severance?
Oh, that's Adam Scott.
That's Adam Scott.
Oh, you know why I know? The only reason I know who it is because he looks like Ryan Rashog.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Yeah, he's the guy from Step Brothers.
Yeah, like the other brothers.
Yeah,
the
that's
successful
Ryan
brother.
Rashog. They're like basically doppelgangers. Oh yeah, Rashog gets that heat all the time. Did you know
From
that?
who? Just you?
No, everyone in the media.
Yeah, maybe. I don't see that. like if you're saying what character on Parks and Rec does Ryan Rashog look the most like? Yeah, I suppose you would say Adam Scott's character.
Oh, yeah.
But in just a pure who is Ryan Rashog's celebrity lookalike, I would not be drawn
For
to Adam
sure.
Scott.
Oh, yeah. Doppelganger, man.
I don't know
Twins.
about that. I don't know. But he's really funny, and he's a talented actor. Like I said, if you look at different characters he's played across a number of different TV shows, films, whatever. But he's very funny, very dry. He's kind of like the nerd loser. He ends up marrying Amy Poehler's character.
Mm-hmm.
He was a kid mayor, Kevin.
Yeah.
That's his like character's history. Is he was a elected mayor at like 13 years old in some small town in Minnesota, and then wasted the whole town's budget on building like a giant ice skating kingdom palace type thing. Really, really good. Great TV show. It's another one, Kev, that I recommend for you.
Well,
I
we're
know
going to get a list together.
this
Duke.
list is piling up because much like me with the replacements, you refuse to take any of my recommendations with any seriousness.
Thanks to all the text, too. I'm wrong. I'm wrong about the Debbie Downer. That's Rachel Dratch.
Rachel Dratch.
So I don't know.
But Poehler was on at the same time. Like she would have been in a lot of the skits, I would
wonder
think.
which skit that she was a recurring character on SNL that I'm thinking for her.
Yeah, I'd have to think about it. Because her time on SNL kind of predates a little bit of when I was watching it regularly.
How come when I
predates it.
say something right once in a blue moon, the people don't text in and say,
well, they don't need to correct you if you're right, Kevin.
like, all right.
Every time you say something, you want people to text in. Yeah, Kevin, that's correct.
Yeah, but that happens once in a blue moon, so it should happen.
Oh, for once, Kevin's correct.
It's great though. Like bang, 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 bang.
Yeah, six messages in
1 second. Appreciate it though. I still like that Debbie Downer thing though. Yeah. That reminded me of last night in the second period intermission with Colby Armstrong when they went into him. I'm re-picking my heart. Can I do that? Can I redo it? And then he just looked at the camera and went, oops. Yeah. All right. Good stuff on In or Out. Brought to you by Pro Solutions. Check them out at prosolutionsinc.ca. Again, installs and flexible financing on your air conditioning service needs. Coming up in the 10 o'clock hour, we'll get to some of your texts, 833-401-1440. We've got a stirring rendition of Cam and Eggs to come up. And again, this is just a little heads up. You're going to have to turn your radio up a little bit. Turn your volume up to hear this edition of Cam and Eggs. And then we got Stephen Ellis from the Daily Face-Off at 10:20. Before all that, time now for a Sports 1440 update. Brought to you by Fusion Promo Marketing. Expand your brand, high quality promotional products for businesses, sports teams, and corporate events. Get noticed at fusionpromomarketing.ca. That's Fusion with a Z. Here is the Duke.
Sports 1440 update.
Busy night in the NHL with 14 games on tap. The Islanders try to keep their playoff hopes alive as they take on the Maple Leafs. Sabres hosting the Blue Jackets. Lightning are in Montreal. The Panthers take on the Senators. Flyers visit the Red Wings. Devils hosting the Penguins. Pittsburgh can clinch their playoff spot with a victory. Jets in St. Louis. Hurricanes against the Blackhawks. Wild playing the Stars in a preview of what will be a first-round playoff matchup. Avalanche hosting the Flames. Preds in Utah. Ducks taking on the Sharks. Kraken hosting Vegas. And in the nightcap, Vancouver is in SoCal against the Kings. In the NBA, half dozen games tonight, including the Toronto Raptors at home against the Miami Heat for a second straight game. Tip-off there just after 5 o'clock from Scotiabank Arena. Elsewhere, Indiana and Brooklyn. Knicks hosting Boston at MSG. Sixers playing Houston. And the Lakers head north to take on the Golden State Warriors. Light day in the majors, several teams in transit. Miami hosting Cincinnati. Athletics and the Yankees wrap up their set. Minnesota hosting Detroit. Arizona in New York against the Mets. KC playing the White Sox. And Colorado in San Diego against the Padres. Finally, Masters continuing from Augusta National. Currently, Kurt Kitayama and Patrick Reed, as well as Tommy Fleetwood, all tied at 300 across the top of the leaderboard. High Canadian at the moment. Nick Taylor is in T6 as he's 1 under through 8 holes. Coming up, In hour 4 of the Kevin Karius Show, we'll hear today's edition of Cam and Eggs and be joined by Stephen Ellis from the Daily Faceoff. I'm Brandon Douglas, Sicker Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, the Stingray radio station. CKJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
As we all try to figure out when winter will actually stop and spring will finally be here for the season, GS Construction moves ahead with their plans for the year. From planning and digging to laying out underground infrastructure, construction season is limited, so we make every day count. And that's why GS Construction counts on our team to get the job done right. Crews are getting back in action across the city, and we'd like you to join us. We're looking for experienced top men, pipe layers, operators, and surveyors. For more, visit gsconstruction.ca.
The Spruce Grove Saints have clinched their spot in the Rogers BCHL Cup playoffs.
Catch all the first-round action at the Thompson Family Arena, one of the most exciting junior hockey atmospheres around. Feel the energy, hear the crowd, and be part of the playoff push as the Saints battle for the cup. For tickets or information, follow the Spruce Grove Saints on social media or visit sgsaints.ca. The Spruce Grove Saints are playoff bound. Don't miss your chance to be there. It's go time. Go, Saints, go.
At Fountain Tire, the savings come in threes. Up to 25% off select tires, a mail-in rebate of up to $100 off a set of 4 select tires, and $50 off a $150 service. We're basically the BLT of savings. Until April 25th. Restrictions apply. Book today.
Good to go. Good to go. With Mortgages to Go, you'll be good to go. MortgagesToGo.ca says yes when the banks say no. That's why Alberta has trusted Mortgages to Go for over 23 years. If you need cash and have equity in your home, you're approved instantly. Guaranteed. Call 1-888-888-5998. That's 1-888-888-5998. With Mortgages to Go, you'll say, I'm good to go.
Get the lowdown with Low Tide. Weekdays from noon to 2 on Sports 1440. He's seen it all and then some. From stats to stories, he breaks it down like no one else. Proud to be Edmonton's sports leader. Sports 1440.
Bashaw Concrete Products. From concrete and septic tanks to blocks, precast water pads, Jersey barriers and aggregates. Farmers, contractors, homeowners. Plan your next project at BashawConcrete.com. Family owned, over 60 years pouring. Bashaw Concrete Products. Once again, start here. BashawConcrete.com.
Have your sports curiosity cured with the Kevin Karius Show. This is Sports 1440.
All right, welcome back to the big program, 10:10 in Edmonton. Good tune by the Duke. Duke, do you know what episode of Seinfeld that is from? That track is
Yeah,
from?
that's when the Kramer has the business job.
Yeah, the job he's
what's
not
in the briefcase? Crackers.
Yeah. You know, frankly, I've looked at your work and it stinks. Oh, I don't even really work here. Well, that's what makes it so tough, you know. Yeah. You know, just trying to get ahead. I'll work nights, weekends, whatever it takes, you know. Got some things going on at home. It is Masters weekend, and right now, Patrick Reed has just eagled the par 5 8th hole. Unbelievable. So he's got 2 eagles and 1 birdie so far. He's at 5 under par after 8. How's that for an opening 9? How are you enjoying things so far? Get out of the way. I'm busy. Which leads us to another edition of Cam and Eggs from Cam Tate. And here's a little warning. Turn up your radio. Turn up whatever listening device you're on.
Good morning. Welcome to Cam and Eggs. And we have to whisper. Day 1, the the Masters. All this technology, yes, Cam and Eggs could be heard at Augusta, but respect comes first. Quiet, not even Eggs, too noisy. Step through those iron gates. The world outside disappears. Infinity in green and stillness. Listen, really listen. The quiet here is thick. You wear it. Feel it push on your chest. Fill your lungs. It's Augusta National. Silence isn't an absence. It's alive. Grows in the pines. Seeps up through old velvet earth. A breath at the 12th green can drift over Ray's Creek, settle by the 11th tee. Every shadow shelters memory. Every silent second holds 100 fragile futures. See the players over the ball. Hands tight. Shoulders rigid. Their tension is a cold knife. It flickers in the dull morning. They need this hush. It holds them up. They need quiet to see the slope, to hear their doubts, to ward off failure. Right before the swing, a single slip, a half-inch astray. A dream dies in that grass. The quiet is a thread keeping everything together. Break it. Break the spell. That's why we whisper. That's why marshals lift their quiet please paddles. Teeth set, eyes scanning. Patrons, never fans, know the code. A cutting look, a sharp shush. It's protection. Shout once, you're gone. Ejected. Your badge is history. Augusta gives no second chances. The silence is a shared promise. For a moment, we are all ghosts of the gallery. We do it from empathy, from reverence, for pain, for glory, for every echo. Today, we hold our breath. We watch dew disappear from living grass. We count every heartbeat in every shot. Thick air, infinite stakes. We'll whisper past azaleas, through nerves and hope. Stay with us. Feel every thunderous hush. This is Cam and Eggs. And Kevin, since you've been there, can you share your memories of whispering at the Masters?
That's pretty good. I think I had to turn my volume up as well, Duke. Did you? But you got your earphones on, so.
Yeah, I got the cans on, so I had it. I did have the fader up a little louder than I normally do on Cam and Eggs. But hey, I mean, hey, he's leaning into the theme. I can appreciate that. That's a good one, Tater. Little, and even this text came in, it's almost like that's ASMR, which I'm sure you're very familiar with, Kevin.
I don't know what that is. ASMR?
I'm actually not sure what it stands for, but it's essentially a voice that's supposed to be very calming and relaxing, talking, describing things, and it provides a calming influence over you.
Well, I could tell the story when I was on 16 at Augusta.
Oh, please do.
In 2005, and
autonomous sensory meridian response. Sorry, is what that stands for.
Wow,
and those are 4 words that you do not know the definition of.
Well, it was a sound that I can't even explain on 16 there, Duke, 21 years ago. And the other thing I do remember about that shot, and I know a lot of people want to hear about it because of MTR really asking me to tell it again. The sound. I mean, the sound was there, and then, the elevation of sound and how it reverberates, in certain holes. That's just crazy to try to remember it. But there was also, on that hole, it was 16, then in the getting down to 3 holes left, and it ended up to be a playoff between Chris DeMarco and Tiger Woods. And DeMarco had a perfect tee shot coming in there. And the guy that I was standing beside said, I've been here for 30 years. And I've never seen anybody get up and down from where Tiger is. So he said, this is a 2-shot swing for sure. And it was a 1-shot swing because DeMarco parred and Tiger Woods birdied it. DeMarco ended up to come back on 17 and 18 to force a playoff where Tiger won it. So it was a hell of a trip. Coming up in our next segment, we're going to bust away and talk a little bit of hockey with Stephen Ellis from the Daily Faceoff. We're getting close where draft rankings are coming forward and playoffs and junior, which again, massive swings in how players are ranked because of how they perform in the playoffs as well. That's straight ahead on the Kevin Karius Show with the Duke of Delburne, Josh Fenwick here on Sports 1440 AM Radio. We're streaming on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. Would you like to be a part of history for the month of April? I'm kidding. Or as the kids say, bro, I'm joking. Would you like to help us set a record in April? Chill, still kidding. At Northgate, we aren't trying to set any records or tell you how many vehicles we sell, and we really don't think you'd care. But what you will care about is this. Every dealer has the same costs. Trust me, GM does not have a favorite kid. You get to decide where you buy. 0% financing, a great selection, and of course, great people. Stop in and see us today, 13215 97th Street, or visit us online at northgategm.com.
You're in Northgate country.
Booster Juice is going crazy for hazelnuts.
No, not crazy. Nuts.
Booster Juice is going bananas for hazelnuts.
I mean, there are bananas in smoothies, but that's not the point.
Banana juice is booster for hazelnuts.
What? Just stop.
Booster Juice is going nuts for hazelnut. Introducing the Nutty Monkey Smoothie, Holy Hazelnut Acai Bowl, and Nutty Booster Ball, all made with rich, creamy hazelnut spread. Try them today, only at Booster Juice. Canadian born, blending since 1999.
Come for Canada's largest trade shows, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. And stay for the experience at the Edmonton Expo Centre. Looking for the perfect place to host your next big event? From trade shows to galas, meetings, and concerts, the Edmonton Expo Centre has the space, event expertise, and service to make your next event unforgettable. With over 522,000 square feet of flexible event space, in-house catering, and operational expertise, they bring your biggest vision to life. Learn more at EdmontonExpoCenter.com today.
This hockey season, before every game, check out the pregame show with Andrew Walker on Sports 1440. It's brought to you by Titan Supply, your only source for rigging, lifting, and hauling products. Visit titansupply.ca.
Spring into savings at The Brick. Refresh your home with huge discounts. Save up to $1,800 on sofas and sectionals. And buy more, save more, up to 25% off bedroom and dining furniture. Dreaming of better sleep? Upgrade your mattress game and save up to 40% off select mattresses and score free delivery when you use your Flexity card. Plus, save 15% when you buy 2 or more select major kitchen appliances. Some exclusions apply. See in store for details. The Brick, proudly Canadian since 1971.
For almost half a century, families, farmers, and mechanics across Alberta have trusted Ed's Auto Salvage in Westlock. Why? Because we know cars and we know value. Hi, Lisa here. And whether it's keeping your work truck hauling or getting your teenager's first car back on the road, Ed's has the parts you need at prices you can afford. Reliable, affordable, local. That's Ed's Auto Salvage. With province-wide shipping and daily delivery to Edmonton, visit us at edsautosalvage.com.
Just in time for the morning skate. This is the Kevin Karius Show on Sports 1440.
All right, welcome back to the big program. 10:20 in Edmonton. Time to talk a little hockey, some scouting, some prospects, and everything like that with Stephen Ellis from the Daily Faceoff and our Puck Report brought to you by Fountain Tire. At Fountain Tire, we focus on one thing, and it is your vehicle, from tires to wheels to oil changes to vehicle repairs. We have you covered. Visit fountaintire.com to book your appointment today as we welcome back Stephen Ellis from the Daily Faceoff. Morning, Stephen. You're with Kevin Karius. Thanks, as always, for jumping on Sports 1440. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me.
Hey, let's start at the Frozen Four this weekend. And so much great young talent. We've seen so many guys already sign, like the likes of Porter Martone already. And there are going to be so many more guys that we see moving forward after these games this weekend. Who do you have your eye on this weekend, Stephen?
Well, for one, Michael Hague, the Montreal Canadiens prospect, extremely smart, great two-way player. We saw him with the World Juniors, just put up some unbelievable numbers there. And he's coming off of an injury. I think that for him, it'll just be like, can he get up to speed quickly here and help Michigan go out there and win. So I think that's going to be interesting. When you look at all four of the teams here, there's no like super clear favorite. I think when you look at Michigan, they've probably got more skill. They're the higher ranked team. You look at North Dakota, a lot of depth on that team. Wisconsin, they're a difficult team to kind of break through the middle of the ice. And in Denver, they've got some really good defensemen there. So I think when you look at it, it's definitely an exciting group. I will also say, a lot of attention on TJ Hughes. Likely will be signing an NHL entry level contract as early as next season or next week, or hell, maybe even tomorrow if Michigan loses. So I think that'd be pretty interesting. Where he's the guy that everyone's kind of circling as the top college free agent. He has been one of those top guys for the last couple of years, but now he's at the point where he will be turning pro, and we'll see kind of which team takes a run at him.
And obviously his name has surfaced here, TJ Hughes in Edmonton, Stephen. But this is a guy that's, he's not a young guy anymore. We saw him in the AJHL here 4 years ago in Brooks when he played for the Bandits and they won a championship. So how does his age and when you compare him to other players that might be, 21, 20, how do you map that out, Stephen?
Yeah, well, so you look at like a guy like Hughes, he's been very productive for his entire college career. Like I remember watching him as a sophomore. I'm thinking like, yeah, this guy could probably turn pro pretty quickly. And then he played 2 more seasons after that. I think with him, when you're an older prospect, you kind of know what the player's at. At 23 years old, that's kind of when we start looking at a player no longer being a prospect and more just being a player. And if you're not going to make it at that point, I think that's something where you're probably not going to, we don't typically see a ton of guys figure it out at 27 or 28. It does happen from time to time, but it's typically not the norm. But when you're looking at Hughes, he's been so consistent dating back to his junior days. And is he the most well-rounded player? No. Is he the world's greatest skater? No. Will he make things happen consistently in the offensive zone? Absolutely. Is he a smart player? Yes. So I think when you're signing him, let's say the Oilers do sign him. I think the smart play is let him start in the AHL next year and kind of make him force his way to be a full-time NHL player. And I think that's something where it is hard for a player to go right from college to the NHL. And I talked about it a lot last year when it came to Ike Howard specifically, where he got the Hope Baker. He was the best player there, but he was also, he was in his third year of college. Like typically most of the guys who win that and end up having good NHL careers are the guys who win it in their first or second year, because that means they're very good and they're ready to go. When you do it in your third or fourth year, typically those guys have not had good NHL careers. So I think it's something where Hughes here, it's like, yeah, he's a bit of a late bloomer. If you're expecting him to be a top 6 player, probably not. Could he be a good third line player? Yes. Is Edmonton the right team for him? I think, Vancouver would probably be a better fit, but overall, it's still, if you're going to go out there and get anybody basically for free, like not having to throw a draft pick at a guy, you might as well get the most skilled forward available. And that's what TJ Hughes is.
And that's where teams have it's a tussle. It's a battle for teams because you're bringing in a player that's 24 years old. And, by the time he gets into your organization next year, he's a 25-year-old player technically. So do you see teams wrestling with the fact that, okay, once we get him into our organization, well, he might be as good as a player that's 21, 22. So why would we go with that older player?
Well, in a lot of cases, you use that to bring him in and let the younger guys continue to develop down in the AHL, because, a lot of 20, 21-year-olds just became eligible to play in the AHL. So it's okay to not rush the guys. Not everyone's going to be Porter Martone and scoring nearly immediately at the start of their NHL career. It is difficult going from junior or college to the NHL. And I think, again, when you look at the fact that the guy is older, you kind of like they've been playing against slightly older competition for a few years now. You kind of hope they're more ready. And like when you look at it, like a guy like Quinn Hudson, where last year, nice signing there by the Oilers, a guy that put up some good numbers in college, but he kind of like peaked at like 22, 23 years old. And I remember seeing some people say like, oh, he's had one of the best seasons by a 23-year-old rookie in the AHL. But we don't typically see a lot of 23-year-old rookies in the AHL, because that's just not something that happens, because most of those guys have become AHLers 2 or 3 years ago already at that point. So I think when you look at that, again, he's definitely more developed than someone who's 20, 21. I think that's giving you an opportunity to say, okay, let's see if you can keep yourself in the lineup. But those type of players do have short leashes, because it's not something where you're going to be patient with their development. If you're 23 or 24, like you're expected to contribute pretty much immediately.
There for about 15, 20 seconds. So can you maybe just finish your thought on what you were saying just now?
Yeah, I was saying with when it comes to just the guy who's 23 or 24, you kind of want them to be ready to go immediately. And that's okay because that's what you're getting for an older player. And if that works out, then perfect. Otherwise, I'd say just you don't really have a long leash with these guys. That's just kind of what happens when you're an older prospect.
Yeah. In this North Dakota-Wisconsin game, I mean, we've been talking about the Calgary Flames and their prospects, and they've got some good ones led by Cole Reshney, who's been pretty good for North Dakota. But Calgary's got some really decent prospects in this game, and maybe just touch on what you're going to see from the North Dakota. I don't want to say, I was just about to say Fighting Sioux, but I didn't say it, up against Wisconsin here.
Yeah, they're the Fighting Hawks now. I think when you look at North Dakota, that's just a team that's really difficult to play against. And you got a guy like Cole Reshney, who's very skilled. You got a guy like Cade Littler, who's smart. But then you look at their defense. I really like EJ Emery. He's been one of my favorite blue liners for a few years now. Abram Weeb, another Flames guy, he's been good. Will Zellers, we saw him at the World Junior, start as a fourth-line player for USA, and all of a sudden he was their most important player. And Ollie Josephson, I remember when he was in his draft year a couple years ago, he was the most physically dominant player at the NHL Combine. So that's a tough team to play against 100%. I think when you look at a team like Wisconsin, they're going to have to go and try to find a way to get some extra speed through the middle. They've got some guys that work really hard, Blake Montgomery, Quinn Finley, Luke Osborne on defense is another guy I really like. So they've got those players, but overall it's going to be one where it feels like it's going to be North Dakota's game to lose. Like we're talking about all those NHL guys, and they still have, Keaton Verhoff, one of the top prospects for this year's draft, where he'll play close to 20 minutes. So I think that's going to be a very exciting game, 100%. I'm not going to be in Vegas for that this week, but I think in general, it's going to be some pretty good hockey.
So Keaton Verhoff, you just mentioned him. He's a local product here. Is he challenging Gavin McKenna in your rankings for number one when you look at the draft coming up here?
I was working on my new draft rankings, and I got him at number 4 right now. I think it's kind of McKenna's to lose at this point. I think Stenberg's quiet second half didn't really help his case. And I think Chase Reed having the season he has had in the OHL has been just remarkable. And yeah, you could argue and say the NCAA's a much more difficult competition. And I 100% say that. I think the big difference there is you look at maybe the Chase Reed's got that speed advantage. That being said, I think Keaton Verhoff's got the biggest ceiling of any defenseman in this draft, 100%. He's still a really raw defenseman. If you could, I know scouts want him to work a bit more on finding a bit more top speed, but then you look at the way that he's got that physicality, he's got the size, he's got the ability to just drive the play offensively. We saw him at the World Juniors where he didn't start in that on Canada on a full-time position, and then he forced his way in, and he was actually really good near the end. So I think it's still really close to those. Talking to some scouts, I pulled around 8 or 9 of them recently, and more were leaning in the Chase Reed direction, but it's still so close. And I think there's a lot of teams that are going to be so happy to have Keaton Verhoff as a top pairing defenseman.
So where do you have Carson Karels then, Stephen?
I got him number 5. I think actually the picture I have of him in my upcoming draft rankings is of him tending to his cows. So gotta love that. That's a guy that scouts have told me, like, man, if he focuses all summer long on becoming the best player possible, he's going to be an absolute force. Because yeah, right now, like he is during the off season, he's still putting a lot of work on his family farm. And you love to see that. My wife's family's got a farm, so I appreciate that. But I think with him, it's hardworking player who's smart, skilled. He's not going to go out there and physically dominate people, but he'll outsmart you every single time. He's great with the puck. So it's really close. Like that's the thing. Any of those 3 defensemen, I think, could be the first defenseman off the board. That's what makes it really exciting this year's draft, where, yeah, you've got McKenna, you got Stenberg at the top, but then you got a lot of really good blue liners this year.
Yeah. So is Stenberg challenging McKenna in your sense too at all?
I think he's the closest to it. If you asked me in like January or February, I think I would have had Stenberg still at number 1. But I think just from the all-around standpoint, but it's more of, do you pick the guy who impacts the game in more ways, or do you pick the player with the most pure skill? And I think in that case, I'm just going with the guy with the more skill. I think the upside there is a little higher for McKenna. I think with Stenberg, like he's going to be valuable in a lot of ways that don't contribute offensive points. And but I think with McKenna, what he's been able to do offensively, and also while adding a bit more muscle and adding a bit more physicality to his game. Like you could see if you watched him play in like November and you watched him play in February, you see a bit of a guy who's just not afraid of anything anymore. And that type of player you love having in your lineup.
How difficult a choice do you think? Let's just assume that Vancouver wins the lottery. how tough of a choice is this going to be for them where, they've had some great Swedish players. Everyone knows about Naslund and the Sedins and things like that. But you got a Canadian guy here in McKenna. How tough of a choice is this going to be for them?
It's kind of like that's like the one team where it's kind of funny just based off their draft, the way they've drafted in years. I think you got to find the true number one center for McKenna. I think that's the one thing where things change out. Most scouts will say that Stenberg has that ability to be a number one center, and then you got to look at the other options that Vancouver has. But you got to pick best player available, and it feels like the upside there is just higher for McKenna. If the Canucks came out today and said we are picking Stenberg no matter what, like, it wouldn't surprise me either. Like, that's the thing. Like, you're picking most skilled versus most versatile, and you're picking a guy who's playing against college guys and then a guy who's been playing against pros all year long. Like, there's just different things that you got to look at here. You don't have two guys with very similar paths going to challenge for number one. It's not like you have a guy going to the WHL, one guy from the OHL. It's like, in this case, it's two guys who playing very different styles of hockey, different parts of the world, different competition. But I still think just the pure skill on McKenna, that's not a guy you like to pass up.
Stephen Ellis from the Daily Faceoff with us here on the Kevin Karius Show on Sports 1440. The Hobie Baker will be handed out tomorrow. We talked about TJ Hughes. I'm not sure a lot of people know a whole hell of a lot about Eric Polkamp, the Sharks prospect, plays in Denver. Maybe just give us your take on what you see in him.
Yeah, Polkamp, you just watch a guy who's really skilled, moves well. He's been very productive at all levels, but watching him in college, it was a certain point where he consistently started getting like 20, 22 minutes a night. And that's when he's like really unlocked his game, showed a lot of skill with the puck. We've seen him play at the United States at a bunch of different levels internationally. Has typically looked good. And, I think teams are going to get more comfortable with smaller defensemen moving forward. I think the success of Lane Hudson and then obviously the really strong start from Cole Hudson is making you think like, okay, maybe I don't need a massive defenseman anymore. Maybe these guys that can go out there and be a 4-forward out there might be the way to go. And that's what we watch that's what we see when we're watching Eric Polkamp, a guy who's always activating, shoots a lot, always engaged on the rush. Like, I think I saw one stretch where he was averaging like 8 shots a game recently. Like, he's doing a lot from the point. He can play on the power play. So the Sharks have a couple years ago, it looked like the Sharks, like, the one thing they were missing was defensive depth. They aren't anymore. That's just something where you look at Sam Dickinson, you look at Luca Cagnoni, you're looking at Eric Polkamp. That's just scratching the surface. The Sharks do have a really promising blue line coming up, and I love his game a lot.
One of the goaltenders I wanted to discuss with you, Stephen, is Johnny Hicks out of Denver. So, he's one of those guys that went down to the NCAA from the Western League, playing in Victoria last year. Boy, Victoria lost a lot of guys, didn't they? What do you make of Johnny Hicks, who's a small goaltender, but is playing lights out right now?
Yeah, that might be something that kind of plays against him. But, got to give him credit. He's had an unbelievable season with Denver. You look at the start of the season, to look at Quentin Miller was going to be the guy going forward for them. And then Johnny Hicks came and hasn't lost a game in regulation yet this year. Just unbelievable, great numbers. But he's 5'10" in college. And I think that's something that you got to look at and say, okay, yeah, he's 20, still young. There's still that. But we typically just don't see we've seen a bunch of smaller defense or goalies kind of come through the system and just not really kind of make anything out of it. So I feel like this is something where he's too small for an NHL team. Will he get an AHL contract in the future? I think so. Absolutely. I think this is a player that it's not a huge sample size. We're talking 19 games here, but he's been productive at all levels. BCHL, WHL, Victoria last year. He's been really good here. Teams are just not going to take a chance on a guy that's 5'10". The history shows you that there's been a lot of small college goalies that you just don't remember, and it's just because they're too small. And Devin Levi, one of the best college goalies of all time, at least in this generation, and I think we've seen in the NHL he struggles with the size. So I think that's something where it's a long road forward for Johnny Hicks.
It is like a guy like Dustin Wolf an outlier here, Stephen? And I know he's a little bit bigger than what Johnny Hicks is, but not a whole hell of a lot.
Yeah, like he's 6 foot, 6 foot and a half. Like, at least that gives you just a little bit more size. And I feel like that's something teams are looking at here and say, like, you got to be a really spectacular goalie, like UC Saros to be, I think, a really true small difference maker. And it just, because you got to work a little harder to make that extra space up. And is it a huge difference of 2 inches? Maybe not necessarily, especially depending on the player style, but I feel like it's something where 5'10" just feels like that's a non-starter for most NHL teams.
Stephen Ellis from the Daily Faceoff with us here on Sports 1440. Across the CHL with playoffs underway, is there a player or two with a good playoff run here that will up their stock or have the opportunity, the ability to up their stock moving forward here in the next several weeks?
Oh, that's a good question. At least if starting before the playoffs, I'd say Ryan Rubrick in the OHL, because this is a guy that's been very good at getting pucks on net, but the consistency has been a big issue for him. I think that's something where you look at it and say, okay, like he needs to kind of really figure that out. What's another one? Julian Mays has been very impressive for me. The Calgary Hitman. I know like he's another small guy that's probably not going to help his draft stock, but I feel like watching him the last couple of weeks, he's been very good. He had that 6-point game against Brandon in game 2. So I'd say he's someone who he's got probably first round talent, but he's just maybe not rounded enough. And that's probably not going to help his cause. I will say one guy that just got eliminated that I actually was quite impressed with in the playoffs is Red Deer's Beckett Hamilton. Okay. Just a guy that really smart through the middle of the ice, battles hard, not huge, but I think he makes up for it by just outworking opponents and doing things like that. So it's something where the playoffs are the thing the scouts are always looking for, right? They're always looking for the guys who can go out there and make a difference when the pressure's on. Bryce Pickford a couple of years ago, big reason why the Montreal Canadiens drafted him was because how dominant he was with the puck in the playoffs. So, this is a good time to really put yourself on the map at the last minute. I want to continue to see more out of the Ruck brothers. Those guys have been so good this year. And it feels like, Andrew Basha, the Calgary Flames prospect, was a bit more impressive in that first round, but I'm waiting for the Ruck twins to just go nuclear and dominate like we know they can do that.
Can't beat that name either, for sure. One last one for you. Where have you got Caleb Malhotra kind of ranked, and where do you see his, how he's going to evolve as a player here? Because he's got the speed, he's got size, he can score, he can do so much.
Yeah, I think one thing people will kind of discount him on is the fact that he plays on one of the best teams in the CHL that's just loaded with talent. But he's a big reason for the fact that Brantford's been this good this year. And I think we're talking about a guy who could go as high as 3 if the team at number 3 really wants a centerman, because there is not a lot of good centermen in this draft. I feel like Tynan Lawrence's stock fell a lot after going to college, where he just looked like he was trailing way too often in plays, and being on Boston University probably didn't help his case. But I think of Malhotra, we're talking about a guy who's definitely going to be hovering around 5th, 6th, 7th. I think with just the number of high-end defensemen this year, that's going to push him down a bit. And the fact that a lot of scouts kind of see him as a number 2 center, but like a really effective number 2 center. And that's very important. You're not going to be getting a number 1 center every year in the draft, obviously. But if you can find a guy who could be very good as your secondary guy, you're going to be very happy. So I really like Malhotra's game. I think we're talking somewhere 5th, 6th, 7th in that range. I know some scouts think he's closer to 10, but I would be surprised if he's still on the board at 9 or 10.
If he's on the board at 10, teams at 5 to 8 are making a big mistake here.
100%. No question about it. I think there's a big fall off kind of near the end of the top 10 and after that. So I feel like if he's still around there after 8, I would be very surprised.
As always, Stephen, really appreciate your insight. It's top notch. Enjoy the Frozen 4 and everything else that is coming up. And when are your next rankings coming out?
They're coming out on Tuesday, so it'll be top 75, and then the under 18 World Championship is the week after. No Gavin McKenna, no Ivor Stenberg. They're too old for this tournament, but it is, in my opinion, one of the best hockey events on the calendar. But it kind of gets ignored because the games are in Europe and at weird times.
Perfect. Great stuff. Thanks, Stephen.
Thanks so much.
Stephen Ellis from the Daily Faceoff, man. That guy is consumed by junior hockey, NCAA hockey. What was that tournament again, Duke? I always keep forgetting it. When we were asking him, and
it was like the world, like the Div 3 World Championships, maybe even lower than Div 3 because it was being played between
Vietnam was
Turkmenistan and
Vietnam was
Sri Lanka or
Korea.
something.
I mean,
yeah, crazy.
And he named about 15 players.
Yeah, he just, if it's on anywhere, it doesn't matter the caliber. If all of a sudden he finds himself where there is no hockey around the world to watch, I bet he's just dipping into Live Barn and like checking in what's happening at the Manville Arena or Delburne, who recently got Live Barn, as I learned when I was home for the Rockets tournament. So the guy just loves hockey, loves it.
Text 833-401-1440. We were talking about my baby and the midnight train there. Slurpy Sean said, "Hey, it's not the Kramer episode." And I go, "Yeah, it was when he gets on the train there, and that's the scene." But Slurpy Sean comes back and says, it was when George has the cane tripping co-workers. And then he's carried by the woman down the hall. And then he's done obviously some research here and says it turns out we were both right. It was in both episodes.
Yeah. What's they build the playground equipment? Like when George has that really cushy job and he pretends play now.
Yeah.
Right. Because he pretends to be, he gets the rascal scooter.
That was Gordon Jump that was in that.
Oh, really? Okay.
From WKRP in Cincinnati.
Right. Same as Herb Tarluck.
That's right. AKA Sean Smith.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't pretend like I've never learned anything from you, Kevin.
No.
Some of these things do stick in my brain.
I just saw SKS out in the hallway. He looked worried about his Masters pick. Who did he take again? Don't you have the list there, Duke?
Phone I do here. Give me a second.
Olberg hasn't hit. He took Justin Rose.
Oh, yeah. JR. Junior, as it was written on his napkin.
You've got Olberg.
Yeah.
I've got Scheffler. Josh has Schauffele. Eddie's got Matsuyama. And then Schlemmer texted SKS when I was walking out the door, and he took someone a little off the chart here, a little off the board.
Did he take Tommy Fleetwood?
I don't remember. We'll have to figure that out. Schlemmer, we got to figure out who you took.
Well, I'm sure Sean's got it written down.
I don't think he would.
He's very official with his documentation and record keeping.
He probably blew his nose on that napkin and it's all
all the ink smudged now. He can't figure it out.
It's Uma Thurman's number on there, Jerry. Yeah. When we come back, we'll wrap up the show. We'll give you a Masters leaderboard update. Kevin Karius, Duke of Delburne, Josh Fumnick on Sports 1440 AM radio. We're streaming on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch.
Summer, it's coming. An unstoppable force that will turn your home into the sweatbox.
Don't live in a summer blockbuster. Pro Solutions is your one-call solves-it-all expert for AC repairs, tune-ups, and new installations. With fast appointments and flexible financing, we'll make sure your home story has a comfortable ending. AC season is coming soon, so book today.
Lock in pre-season pricing today.
Visit ProSolutionsInc.ca to schedule your service today.
At Fountain Tire, the savings come in threes. Up to 25% off select tires, a mail-in rebate of up to $100 off a set of 4 select tires, and $50 off $150 service. We're basically the BLT of savings until April 25th. Restrictions apply. Book today.
For over 60 years, the folks at Diablo Boots have been selling the best Canadian-made boots. Handcrafted in Winnipeg, Canada West makes the best quality cowboy, biker, and work boots for Diablo Boots with replaceable soles and heels. Why buy cheaper quality like Ariat, Justin, and Red Wing made in China when Canadian-made is better? Support Canada's workers and Diablo Boots for the best boots. So save on boots by Save On Foods. That's Diablo Boots, 3340 Gateway Boulevard on the east side of Save On Foods. Canada West and Diablo Boots, the two best names in the boots business.
This hockey season, before every game, check out the pregame show with Andrew Walker on Sports 1440. It's brought to you by Titan Supply, your only source for rigging, lifting, and hauling products. Visit titansupply.ca.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is the #1 heating and cooling company for people who want heating and cooling, because you'll save a bundle by bundling. Then you can use hot, cold, hot, cold. Come on, thermostat, do what you're told. Turn up the heat, turn up the cold, to the vents start pushing out tornadoes. Bundle my furnace with some AC. Gonna get a deal from Legacy! Oh, yeah. Save a bundle when you bundle your new furnace and AC from Legacy today. Plus no payments and no interest for 1 year. That's how you build your legacy. Legacy Heating and Cooling.
You started wearing it to guys' night.
Nice toque, you hoser.
Then you started wearing it to work.
Nice toque, you hipster.
But the truth is, you're not a hoser or a hipster. You're just trying to hide your hair loss. I'm Dr. Vance Elliott, and for over 2 decades, I've used the latest techniques to help thousands save their hair, including my own. Come see me today to explore your options. By the time it warms up enough to take off the toque, you could have a head of hair you won't want to hide. Go to drvanceelliott.com today.
Oh, Canada. Jiffy Lube is here to keep you moving through mornings like these. Full synthetic oil changes, quality Pennzoil products, tire checks, battery tests, and everything else your car needs to get through our winters. Stop by Jiffy Lube for fast, easy, warranty-approved service. No appointment, no hassle. Just dependable service right when you need it. Jiffy Lube, keeping you moving through this.
and Karius show, breaking down Edmonton's favorite teams, even though his favorite Junior A hockey team is the Yorkton Terriers. Thanks for checking in with Sports 1440.
All right, welcome back to the big program, 1047 in Edmonton as we wrap up Thursday edition. Keep in mind, it's Golfing with the G-Man tomorrow, presented by the CCT, the Country Club Tour. They're just dying to get all their courses going. But right now, it would be extremely busy at the indoor facilities as well. And we'll talk about that tomorrow because people just can't wait. They got the itch to get golfing. I think we're still several weeks away here in the City of Champions, Edmonton and area. To update you on the Masters leaderboard, again, Patrick Reed has just been unbelievable on the front nine to start off his opening round. He came out of the gates with the birdie, then an eagle, also with another eagle on the par 5/8. So he's at 5 under par playing the 10th hole. He's got a one-stroke lead on Tommy Fleetwood, who has been sensational as well. Hasn't made a bogey today either. Parred the first hole and then went birdie, birdie, birdie. And then has also birdied the 9th hole. So unbelievable so far. And then there's a player by the name of Reten that I don't know too much about, but he just eagled the 13th and he's at 3 under par as well. Duke, what's on the agenda for you today? You going to go just cuddle up under the blanket there and watch the little Masters or what?
I don't think I'll need a blanket, but I will just be camping on the couch here.
Come on
check
now.
the remainder of today's action at Augusta National. Very much looking forward to it. Full slate of hockey tonight, too. There's actually some instances, Kevin, where the Oilers can clinch playoff spot tonight. So it would require a 3-game parlay if any Oilers fans are so interested.
So what
maybe.
are the 3 losses?
So, no, they actually need Anaheim to beat the Sharks in any fashion, Utah to beat Nashville in regulation, and if the Jets lose to St. Louis in regulation. So a couple specific caveats there. Edmonton, one of 4 teams that can clinch a playoff spot tonight, along with Pittsburgh. They just need a win. Boston and Utah can all clinch as well tonight.
Oilers could, if Seattle could somehow beat Vegas tonight,
that'd be helpful.
Limit them to a point, that would be pretty big too. So 14 games tonight, 0 tomorrow.
Way to stay relevant to NHL.
0 tomorrow.
Well, why would you want to go up against round 3 of the Masters, Kev?
And then 15 games on Saturday.
Why not just make it around 16? Frozen Frenzy on a Saturday.
It's hard to believe, but you'd think that they could squeak in a game or 2 on a Friday night.
Well, it's perfect, Kevin. Friday night, wide open.
Mm-hmm.
What is a guy to do?
There are so many big games again. So regarding the Eastern Conference tonight, with the Panthers taking on the Senators in Ottawa, it was only not even a week ago, 9 days. Frank Saravalli said, not a chance Ottawa makes the playoffs. Mark Spector, not a chance that Ottawa makes the playoffs. And now they have the highest percentage of those teams to move forward. Who's the guy that said Ottawa would make the playoffs, Duke?
Greg?
No, I did. We had the big thing. I said Ottawa's going to make it, and I've said the Jets are going to make it. So Jets got to beat the Blues tonight. If the Jets beat the Blues, Duke, what would we be looking at as far as...
Oh, it'd be tight.
Okay, if the Jets beat the Blues tonight, they go to 82 points. They'd be 2 back in Nashville and
Nashville
1 back
also
at the
playing
Kings.
tonight.
Yeah.
Kings also playing tonight.
Yeah, the Kings play... Who do they got, Duke?
Vancouver, I think, on the nightcap.
And then who does Nashville have tonight?
Nashville, we just said they play the Mammoth.
Okay. Could you imagine? Little help for the old Dickie Bird here?
So you're putting together a Karius Delight parlay of Jets money line, Mammoth money line, Kings money line. But yeah, the Kings they're out of the Pacific Division picture.
Patrick Reed with the 2 Eagles becomes just the second player in Masters history to eagle 2 of his first 9 holes of the tournament. Do you know the other player?
Is it an obvious name?
Actually, I don't know the answer.
Oh, so this is one of those the classic Kevin Karius trivia.
I don't know the other player. Again, we could figure it out quickly, but
well, you go ahead and do that, Kev.
Well, okay.
You want me to find the answer to your trivia questions?
Yeah. Well, because it never showed me the answer. It just said
so why even bring it up then?
Because it's one of 2 players to do it.
Insane. An insane move.
Well, go ahead, drive for a second.
Coming up today on Fantasy Frenzy.
No, it's not time for that.
No. I'm just this is a call a tease, Kev. A little preview. Connor and I will be doing our first NFL mock draft of the spring. It's coming up in a few weeks, so we're going to get a few mock draft Thursdays back. It's been tradition here for the past couple Aprils on the program, so we're going to dip into that in our middle segment of the show today. We'll obviously talk some Oilers, playoff race, Masters, and all that jazz as well. But that is something for Blair and all the other Fantasy Frenzy fanatics to look forward to on today's episode of the program.
I'll be honest, I can't find the answer, Duke. And I mean, there's stuff that's just come down.
So where did you see this stat or this?
This came down from the Masters thing, and then on the Golf Channel, Patrick Reed, Eagles both par 5s in the first 9. It says taking the early lead, blah blah blah. And then the other thing that I got it from, Duke, is from technically the Masters feed. So that's okay. It's okay, Duke.
Williams, you say that like my feelings are hurt. It was your stat.
I'm just telling you, this is from the Masters. They don't even know who the other guys are. They
lost to history.
It is.
This we got a text said it. They think it's EG says Oostenhuizen.
Louis Oosthuizen?
Yeah.
Could be because he eagled the second hole. No, that was an albatross years ago. MTR says he won't take my bet. I said, okay, let's have a little bet. Side bet with Olberg and Scheffler. He goes, no. Wouldn't do it. He's already got $50 on Olberg. Too bad. Man, this is going to be a great weekend of golf. Can't wait for it. Coming up at the top of the hour, it is Fantasy Frenzy with
the former Rochep T-Bird,
Connor Halley, and the Duke of Delburne. At 12 o'clock, it's the Lowdown with Alan Mitchell. 2 till 6. Jason Greger drives us home with the Jason Greger Show. We got Fox Sports all night long. We'll be with you tomorrow morning at 7 bells with Eddie Steele to wrap up the week. Before all that, time now for a Sports 1440 update. Brought to you by AWS Welding Supplies in Nisku. Product sales, servicing, calibrating, free same-day delivery of in-stock items to Leduc, to Nisku, and even South Edmonton. It's your one-stop shop for all things welding. awswelding.ca. Hey, thanks everyone for listening. Thanks for being a part of the show. Hope you have a terrific rest of your Thursday. Looking forward to the Masters all weekend long. We'll be back with you tomorrow morning, as mentioned, at 7 bells with Eddie Steele to wrap up the work week. Until then, here is the Duke.
The Sports 1440 update.
14-game slate in the NHL tonight, all of which with playoff implications, starting with the Islanders hosting the Maple Leafs. The Jackets are in Buffalo. Habs hosting the Lightning. Panthers take on the Senators. Thomas Chabot expected to make his return to Ottawa's lineup in that one. Flyers take on the Red Wings. Devils hosting the Penguins. Jets against the Blues. Hawks hosting the Hurricanes. Wild play the Stars in a preview of what will be their first-round playoff matchup. Flames in Colorado. Mammoth hosting the Preds. Sharks in Anaheim. Knights playing Seattle. And the Kings host the Canucks in the nightcap. Over in the association, half dozen games, including the Raptors at home against the Miami Heat for a second straight game. Tip-off at 5 o'clock from Scotiabank Arena. Elsewhere, Indiana and Brooklyn. Knicks host the Celtics at MSG. Philly is in Houston, and the Lakers head north to take on the Golden State Warriors. In the majors, light day with several teams in transit. One game already underway or set to do so with Cincinnati in Miami. Yankees wrap their series against the Athletics. Tigers in Minnesota. Mets host the Diamondbacks. White Sox play the Royals. And the Padres take on the Colorado Rockies. Masters underway from Augusta National. Currently, Patrick Reed atop the leaderboard at 5 under through 9 holes. Current high Canadian is Nick Taylor. He's tied for third now, 2 under through 10. Coming up on Sports 1440, it is Fantasy Frenzy with Hallie and Douglas. I'm Brendan Douglas. That's your Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440 in West Edmonton.